The following program is for adult audiences only.
the type that eclipsed the room. I was the one who arrived too soon. But no one would ever bet against us. If they saw us exchanging glances, I was too busy to fall in love. You were too busy to break my heart. Nobody else was there to stop us. Nobody else was there to want.
It's time for the Mixin and Chillin vlog. Even if they implemented some ridiculous laws, this is something that if somebody truly wants to do this, they can still do it. But it's going to take a lot of effort on the vapors' part to actually learn what it takes to make your own stuff. I don't know what the heck happened to the last hour of my life, but it certainly wasn't streamed on YouTube like I thought it was. Restrictive policies block progress towards smoke-free world. Many people incorrectly think that very little nicotine content cigarettes are less carcinogenic than current cigarettes. This risk misperception by people who smoke could reduce motivation to quit under a nicotine reduction policy.
That's a bit of a problem. Someone who specialises in helping people kick the habit is Dr. Colin Mendelsohn. He joins me now.
Look, vaping is a far less harmful alternative to smoking for adult smokers who just can't quit, and that's actually the majority of them.
The road to quitting smoking is paved with candy. Double chocolate clear from TFA. Published in the Vaping Post, we have long-term study. Vaping increases odds of quitting heavy smoking. This is Kenny Thompson, the Vaping Heed. He's got a YouTube channel. He's been on here a lot longer than I have. I'm not going to stop until this is legal and available for everyone. You know, I cover things from all around the globe, but that's because science has no boundary.
I mean, you know, the FDA and everything would know that vaping is safer than smoking, but they'll have the pressure off the tobacco companies or the states that are on the MSA and all that. It's just a financial thing, and unfortunately that takes precedence against everything. And
All of the things we went through. You just made my day. Just made my day. You made my day. You made my day.
Grab your juice, grab your vape, it's time to get this party started.
It's time for the Mixin and Chillin vlog.
Long-term study.
vaping is safer than smoking.
Smoke-free world. Hello and welcome, everyone. Time for another episode of Mixing and Chilling with Hunky Vape and not Kenny the Vape and Heed, because, time changed in England, so let's switch things around a little bit, shall we? All right. Now, to figure out what's going on here. No, that didn't work either. I don't know how these things get messed up when I don't actually switch it or use it. From week to week, it stays exactly the same. But whatever. Happy Halloween to all of you out there. I'm kind of old to be celebrating Halloween anymore. I mean, I hand out candy when the kids come by, and that's about it. But I figured, maybe I could go as a pave dad. Maybe like a pave mom's husband, not actually a pave dad, because I actually don't believe what the wife's arguing about, but whatever. That's what their goal is. They're going to wreck it. That's all they want to do. Doesn't matter how many people it could potentially save their lives of. They're going to go and march along with their little agenda. If you happen to catch the podcast this week, I actually went off on a little tangent because I came across this, scientific study talking about poverty and tobacco use and the prevalence of the poor people smoking and how it's double what it is for people that are well-to-do, let alone the people that are just living their normal life and, fall in the median aspect of everything. And tobacco harm reduction is the solution to that problem. And if they adopt tobacco harm reduction, well, guess what? Then these people can actually save money, improve their life, improve their health outcomes, and improve their kids' lives, because they won't be dumping all this money into tobacco and sin taxes. But I'll leave that up to you guys. If you want to go watch it, it's out there. And I know that I need to cut it down. It's 2 hours long. Way too long for most people to sit there and listen to a podcast every single week. However, when you're passionate about something, I don't script that. I just, gather up all the facts, gather up, trying to get them sorted out in the order that, so that things are grouped together and whatnot. But I just start talking, and it comes up from the heart because, people's lives are at stake. People are suffering and nobody gives a shit. It's wrong. It's plain wrong. Anyway, not to harp on that subject. That was yesterday. I do have a segment prepared for our vape news. And the one thing that I don't have this week is a scientific study, because all the ones I read weren't really worth talking about. I could pick them apart for you, but you guys don't need to hear about that kind of crud that's out there. We deal with enough of the misinformation. That's just not worth it. And we do have a retro vape set up for us. Right there. I found a Valerian 2 mod. And since we haven't done any smock stuff in a while, it was right on top, I just grabbed it. A TFV12 Prince tank to pair up with this UL Valerian mod. I'm kind of excited to give this a try. It's been a long time since I've actually used a smock product. That used to be my daily driver. I've got some mods here on the desk, but even those ones don't get used that often. So we're going to dive into that today. That's going to be our retro vape. I do have an adult beverage for us to try out, and this one's in honor of the Pave Moms. And you can guess what it is, but I'm not going to spoil a surprise for you. And, well, without having somebody to bounce ideas off of in a conversation, I guess it's going to go pretty quick today. I'm sure he'll show up later. I sent him a message earlier and asked him. Time changed in the UK. They went from British summertime to Greenwich Mean Time. So, well, spam. Winters, Texas. Thank you for calling me. All right. Let's jump into our news, science, and advocacy, and might as well get that over and done with. All right, folks, first off for today, I don't have any actual science for you. However, this entire website is all based on science. Dr. Colin Mendelsohn doesn't want to get sued. And those of you that are in the chat room right now that are here attending this live, I'm sure all of you guys already know about this. Stop Smoking, Start Vaping. Wonderful book. It's available free for download right from this website. However, is vaping harmful to bystanders? I can't tell you how many conversations I come across on Twitter, and they're like, just dismissing it like, oh, yeah, well, there's secondhand vape. There's no such thing as secondhand vape. It dissipates within a matter of seconds. Matter of fact, the facts are right here. Unlike secondhand smoke, there is absolutely no evidence that passive vaping is harmful to bystanders. Public Health England reviewed it in 2018, and to date, there has been no identified health risks of passive vaping to bystanders. Royal College of Physicians 2016 report states there is so far no direct evidence that such passive exposure is likely to cause significant harm. Health Canada in 2023 states the risk from secondhand vapor are expected to be much lower compared to secondhand smoke from a tobacco product. This is because secondhand aerosol from vaping contains significantly fewer chemicals than cigarette smoke. UK National Health Service 23 says there is no evidence so far that vaping is harmful to people around you. But people want to still push their propaganda. They don't know any better. This is why we have the news, science, and advocacy segment in the beginning of the thing. I know I'm preaching to the choir out there. I know you guys already know this. But if somebody happens to come across this video later on that thinks they know everything about vaping, I want them to be able to get this information. And if they don't believe me, well, they can go right to the horse's mouth and check out the website themselves. That's why we have it listed here. And like I said, the vapor, when you exhale this, especially from a little device like this, or these little disposables, and even the big cloud chucking tanks, dissipates. It's gone. Yeah, I can still see a little bit floating around here, but that's because this is a big cloud chucking tank. Anyway, moving on. Vape news is the hardest thing to try and research and come across stuff that isn't straight up propaganda. However, we do have some reality sinking in for the folks over in Canada. Quebec has banned flavors, okay?
The province of Quebec is about to join a handful of other provinces, including New Brunswick, to ban flavored vaping products. The goal here is to keep vapes.
Let's try this again.
The province of Quebec is about to join a handful of other provinces, including New Brunswick, to ban flavored vaping products. The goal here is to keep vapes out of the hands of children. But as CTV's Alana Pickrell tells us, the ban has not been nearly as effective as they hoped.
Jumping on board with all three maritime provinces and the Northwest Territories, when the clock strikes midnight tonight, Quebec will no longer be allowed to sell flavored vaping products.
I understand why government would want to do it, but there's no data to suggest that that's the silver bullet in addressing youth vaping.
The idea is straightforward: ban flavors that are enticing to youth to deter younger people from starting the habit. But it doesn't seem to be that simple in practice.
Unfortunately, the flavor ban hasn't been as effective in the Maritimes as we had hoped, and that's due in large part to the non-compliance of the vape shops.
New Brunswick banned flavored vape products back in September of 2021.
Non-compliance of the vape shops, they're the ones that you have to blame. No. It's the fact that just because you make a law doesn't mean people are going to follow the law. And if people want to buy these products and you ban it in your province, well, guess what they're going to do? They're going to buy it in the neighboring province. And if you make it illegal for them to actually mail it and order it through the mail or order it online, well, they're going to do like they do here in the States. When people have a prescription and they go to the pharmacy and they say, there'll be $25 a pill and you need to do this every single month. They're like, I can't afford that. $25 a pill? Well, what about my insurance? Oh, well, that's it. That's with your insurance, sir. There's so many people here in the States. I hear stories about how, they have this expensive health insurance, right? It's supposed to cover everything. And they go to get their prescription and it's like $300, $400, $500, $900 a month to fill their prescriptions, right? But they look into it and they go, well, I heard that My buddy over here, he's got one of those things I saw advertised on TV. You join this pharmacy thing and they give you a different price. And a lot of the times the price that you can buy it at straight up cash without insurance is actually cheaper than you can get your prescriptions filled with insurance. That's highway robbery. And then we got other people that go, you know what, I can drive over to Canada and get my prescription filled over there and come back here. And, well, I guess once a month I'm going to have to make a trip across the border to a different country because when you go to Canada, well, the prices are way less than even on these managed prescription plans. The fact is, if people need something or people want something, they're going to go and get it. Just because you ban it doesn't make it go away.
A little over 2 years later, experts say that the usage rates for youth and young adults are still trending in the wrong direction.
At this point, what we really need is the federal government to step up and make a wide sweeping national flavor ban to really have a greater impact on our youth initiation rates.
I really want to know. Here's something that I've been asking about, and somebody actually posted it on Twitter. Show me a scientific study that if teens actually start vaping, they will have long-term harm from this. And the best argument that I've seen so far is, well, they're going to develop a lifetime addiction to nicotine. Oh, like the lifetime addiction I have to my coffee? Where's the harm? What harm is actually going to come to them physically over time? We just don't know. Well, why is we just don't know a good enough reason to prevent adults from accessing the products that won't kill them, that will improve their health outcomes? And like if they have COPD, it might actually, I don't know, ameliorate it, make it better, make the symptoms get less severe, or perhaps go away altogether? No, that's not what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on these spoiled little brats that are doing something they know is illegal. And we need to protect them and screw over all the adults.
And daily use rates.
The Heart and Stroke Foundation says since vaping was introduced in Canada in 2004, 1/4 of students in grades 10 to 12 vape, which raises health concerns.
Research
raises health concerns. Well, can I ask you a question? How many of these people that are vaping smoke cigarettes? 0. Because the younger generation is smart enough to know this stuff isn't going to kill me. Yeah, there might have some health effects, whatever. When we're teen, we were all risk averse and we didn't have a problem with it. Yeah, okay, whatever the problems are, we'll deal with them when we get to them, later in life. We just wanted to be older. And now that we're older, we're going, man, I wish I was still young again.
has shown that there are links between vaping and health effects such as increased blood pressure, increased heart rate.
Okay, so far, both of those symptoms happen when you drink coffee. So where's the harm? You don't have a coffee ban. There isn't a flavored coffee prohibition.
Damage to the function of blood vessels.
Damage to the function of blood vessels. How? Where? How much?
And increased risk of cardiovascular diseases.
Well, coffee will give you the same problems. You read any study about caffeine and coffee intake, you're going to come across the exact same thing. But we're not banning coffee.
However, Gagnon says there needs to be a balance between deterring youth while still giving options to adults who have chosen vaping as an alternative to traditional cigarettes.
And this goes to the heart of the matter. We need to balance the teen risk with the adults that are smokers that need this product so they don't die an early death. So my question still is, what harm will come to teens if they use these products? Where's the science that shows there will be long-term harm, and keep it relative to other things that they're going to consume and you don't have a problem with? That's my issue with all the science that you read. They tell you all the bad things that can happen about it. And I was quite shocked to find out that like 80-some% of all the science around vaping is paid for and done by the United States. And tobacco harm reduction is nowhere near in sight because the FDA doesn't think, because of Dr. Brian King's stance, that we need to worry about tobacco harm reduction because, well, we have the tobacco vaccine is the solution, and it's going to be long-term solution, but it's going to work. It's going to stop these new generations from ever becoming addicted to tobacco products because we can shelter them their entire life, and we can throw laws in to ban it. Hey, Kenny.
What we've seen with tobacco is, education and awareness seems to be what really is paying off, and probably where the government needs to put its effort.
At this point, everyone we spoke with agrees on two things: that vaping is dangerous for youth and that the current approach isn't working.
How is it dangerous for youth? Wow, that's weird. Just tapping the table is all it takes to set that thing off. All right. So anyway, how is it dangerous to youth? Where's the science showing me that it actually causes significant harm above and beyond above and beyond whatever else they're going to consume during the course of their life?
And Todd, I was actually able to connect with a few vape stores today who confirmed that despite the province-wide flavor ban in New Brunswick, they had products available and were still selling them.
Yes, they're still selling them, but how many of them are going to be able to survive a year down the road when the only thing that they have available are tobacco-flavored stuff? That people, the longer they vape, they're less likely they're ever to want tobacco again, especially when you get things like cinnamon Danish swirl and cappuccino and white chocolate peppermint and cheesecake and custard. Kenny's still lost. Can you hear me, mate? All right.
Todd.
In a snowy Moncton. That's CTV's Alana Pickrell. Thank you, Alana.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that lovely report, that biased report. Oh, look, it's the exact same person. Do you believe this? On City News, they happened to interview the exact same person. Is this actually news? Is this state-sponsored propaganda?
1 2. It's all right. No, because guess what's decided to update just before I come on? Fucking road. So
everything.
I'm having to make sure everything's still working. And
yeah, you sound good, mate.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. So right. I'm happy with that.
Are you dressed up for Halloween?
I'm not finished yet.
Oh, okay. Hey, let's take a look at this lady. See what she has to say while you're getting ready. This ought to be interesting, right?
Flavors entice young people to start vaping, and nicotine keeps them.
Hold on. Sorry. I know that's too loud for you guys. Let's turn that off. Let's see if we can get this working.
God damn it. There you go.
Flavors entice young people to start vaping, and nicotine keeps them hooked.
New regulations on vape.
Flavors entice them to try it, and nicotine keeps them hooked. Bullshit. I don't believe it. What do you think there, Hockey Man?
Well, it's bullshit. I don't believe it. I've got all the army bits and all that.
And students feel very upset about this, and they want to make their voices heard.
Students are very upset about this, and they want to make their voices heard. Except we're not talking about vaping. We're talking about tuition rate hikes. Because we clicked, we don't like it, and guess what? They moved on to the next story. I guess we should listen to the whole story first.
Vaping, and nicotine keeps them hooked.
New regulations on vaping products, including a ban of all vape flavors except tobacco, are taking effect as of October 31st. The new regulations are aimed at protecting young people from the harmful effects of vaping, but the Coalition des droits des vapoteurs du Québec says they're counterproductive and will only encourage people to find flavor vapes elsewhere, such as the black market.
It's going to be more dangerous for those teenagers than it was. When I started vaping in the beginning of 2010, people were just making their own e-juices, in the back of their garage or whatever, and I'm afraid that people would just go back at vaping, whatever, making their own product.
The ban of flavored vapes applies in stores and online in Quebec. When the ban was first announced earlier in August, Health Minister Christian Dubé said in a press release he hopes it makes vaping products less attractive for everyone. For Heart and Stroke, the foundation is pleased to hear about the ban and hopes the federal government and other provinces follow suit.
Flavors.
Of course, Heart and Stroke Foundation is happy to make sure that they have a lifetime supply of people with heart attacks and strokes. So they have plenty of things to do. I hate to call the hypocrisy out, but I mean, that is what it boils down to. Where is the heart attack and stroke risk for people that choose to vape? The science shows it's significantly less than, and that's even the nicotine, is significantly less than it would be if they smoked combustible cigarettes. So why do they not, how can they ignore this? That simple scientific fact.
Are a very powerful motivator in starting vape use, and it is also a very strong marketing tool used by the vaping industry. They know what they're doing with.
Oh, flavors are a marketing tool. They're not actually satisfying consumer demand.
It. When you have flavor descriptors such as blueberry frost or.
Well, what do you want it to be called? If it tastes like blueberry frost, iced blueberries, what do you want to call it?
Cranberry frizz, tropic breeze, mango.
Mango. We can't call it mango. We can't call it mango. We're not allowed to call it mango. What does it taste like? Mango. So what do you want to call it?
Mango.
I don't know. There's no winning with these people. Mango is a fruit.
Just can't say it's any sense.
It tastes like a mango, then you want it to be labeled mango. They have a problem if you label it unicorn poop, because who wants to eat poop, right? Oh, unicorn poop is only attracting to teenagers and kids. Only kids like unicorns. What a load of horse shite. Horse hockey.
It is like
passion fruit.
Passion fruit is we can't call it passion fruit because that's attractive to youth. But what do you want to call it? Tastes like passion fruit.
These are set in a way to attract young people to try on these products.
No. They're designed to attract adults. Kids aren't even supposed to be in the vape stores. So how is what is inside the store attractive to kids that aren't ever in the stores? Oh, you're just straight up lying to us. Oh, of course. Sure. Okay, that makes sense.
In 2021, Heart and Stroke found that 9 in 10 of the 3,000 people aged between 16 and 24 they surveyed used flavored vapes when they first started vaping.
And I'd be willing to bet that is, I don't know, representative of what adults want. Because if a shop doesn't store what their customers want, well, then customers go somewhere else to buy their stuff.
And that those who picked up the habit continued using flavored vapes.
And how many of these people that picked up flavored vapes would have picked up a cigarette if flavored vapes didn't exist on the planet? If vaping didn't exist on the planet, I guarantee you every single one of these people would have started smoking.
same survey, we got the results that close to half of young people would stop vaping if flavors were made unavailable.
The regulations now.
So half of young people wouldn't vape, meaning the other half would still be vaping.
Setting the maximum limit of nicotine concentration to 20 milligrams per milliliter for all vaping products, and certain information to be disclosed on the product's labels and packaging. In Montreal, Diona Makalinga, City News.
Thank you, Vaping Vic, for stating the obvious that these people do not know. Tobacco is a flavor, too. No, I do not want to subscribe to your journal now. Madison man steals Valero clerk multiple times, stabs Valero clerk multiple times after being asked for ID to buy vape pods, police say.
Holy shit.
And, well, that's all we're going to see about this because they want us to pay for a subscription. Just because I happened to leave this browser on and, well, I had to restart the computer because of an update. So, well, goodbye. Thanks for telling us the information we needed anyway. Let's move over to Australia. This is awesome. Australian experts send comprehensive review on vaping to local authorities. Echoing the public sentiment, 4 experts in the fields of tobacco control and public health are urging the Australian government to change their failing strategy to curb smoking and vaping. Because it's a contradiction in terms. You want people to vape, and you want them to stop smoking.
Weird, isn't it?
It is so frustrating. You're literally pulling my hair out.
Damn. Place is run by buffoons.
And this just goes to show you, Costcutter, your local food source, is selling booze and vapes to kids. Thank you for the advertisement. Take up half the screen? Really? South London shop is at risk of closure after being caught selling a vape and booze to children in a sting operation.
Disgusting.
Costcutter store, Wickham Lane, is having its license reviewed after Greenwich Council officers found a trainee member of the staff had sold a nicotine vape and a can of beer to a pair of teenagers.
A can of beer. Holy shit, man. Ooh.
How old were you when you got your first can of beer?
Me?
Yeah.
About 13. I had me first. I say me first alcohol. I mean, it was with parents. It was but it wasn't like on its own. At Christmas time, Grandma used to give us a port and lemon. So it was a very small amount of port with obviously lots of lemonade, and that was my first kind of introduction to alcohol.
And because you had it, did you want to go binge drinking?
No. First time I had it, I actually went, "Oh, that's horrible." It took some getting used to.
Exactly. I've done the same thing with my children. It's not a secret. It's not hidden. It's not banned. I mean, yes, it's technically banned. They're not supposed to be drinking it. But none of this lead-handed fist-mongering prohibition.
Bullshit. Yeah.
And my parents did the same thing to me when I was growing up as a kid. And it was just like you, it was on a holiday.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
it wasn't every day. It wasn't like giving us.
No.
I wasn't exactly getting a glass of wine every night with me tea. You know what I mean?
Thanksgiving here, the kids got their own sparkling bottle of, actually, it's just sparkling apple juice, right? But
pretty much, yeah.
They had that, and I let them taste the actual real stuff. And they liked the fake stuff better than the real stuff. So they had no desire to go and binge drink with their friends. Let's go drinking. Ooh. No, I don't really like it. I already tried it. No thanks.
You know
My
what
parents
is?
let me
It's
try
one
it
of
at
them
Christmas.
things. It's one of them things, like, you know, you might like drunk as a teenager, and you may have like smoked as a teenager, but as soon as you were of the legal age, the excitement went and you never bothered with as much, especially drinking. You just thought, oh, well, there's no thrill now, is there? You know what
Exactly.
I mean? I'm getting caught.
And I don't understand why these tobacco control freaks can't understand that they are the ones that are legitimately advertising to teenagers and making these products attractive. They're crying the blues about these wonderful flavors, and they're so delicious, and the colorful packaging, and vape shop owners are going around telling kids that this stuff is fantastic, and no. It is tobacco control that is pushing the advertising and pushing this fad to be the biggest it can be because, well, then they get the ammunition to actually ban it.
Exactly.
And just like this story here, this store was busted selling a vape and selling alcohol to an underage person, right? Their license is being reviewed. We're just going to review it. Well, it was a trainee that did the sale. Okay. When you hire somebody, don't you train them? And don't you tell them the first thing you do is no underage sales? We could lose our license and close the shop permanently if you sell these to people that are too young to buy them.
Well, that's the first thing that should be learned. I mean, when I deliver for Amazon, we deliver products for 18 years old, alcohol, vape products, and we've drilled into us. We don't get that right, we can lose our jobs. End of.
Because Amazon as a corporation knows that if they get in the press and get in the media as delivering alcohol to underage people, even if it was just some Joe Schmo that doesn't really care about his job, well, they could legit lose the ability to deliver alcohol products forever. Mm-hmm. They don't, in the States here, Amazon doesn't deliver alcohol or vaping products. It's been, no.
Stay over here. And some of the vaping products that do deliver are, shall we say, questionable.
Meanwhile, you can order alcohol through the mail.
Yeah, but sure, it's got to be age verified on a delivery. You can't just give it to anybody.
I don't know. I've never ordered alcohol through the mail, so I really don't know what their restrictions are. And you would think that they would need to be age verified. They can't just leave it on your front porch.
They can't just give it to a little kid on the step. You know what I mean? It's got to be given to an adult.
Assuming that the box is even labeled. I don't know what the restrictions are on alcohol.
They're normally not. They're just normally labeled 18 or whatever. You don't really know what's inside. We've got a good idea.
Looking at the internet, it's quite obvious that alcohol can be advertised anywhere. Billboards. Yeah, no worries. But somehow, because it's a vape, then we need to protect the kids from that. They can see all the alcohol advertising. That's not a problem. Despite the fact that there's more people binge drinking, there's more kids that are binge drinking than there are vaping. What?
What do you do?
When I had that brainstorm of an idea for the Hypocrisy podcast, I'm like, this just sums it all up. All of it. This fits for everything that we keep coming across. Here you have a store that got busted for doing the wrong thing, and well, there's no fine, automatic fine for doing the wrong thing. Here in the States, if the gas station sells cigarettes to a kid, not only does the store get a fine, but so does the clerk. Has to come out of his pocket. Yep. And then the store gets a fine, and if it happens more than, 2 or 3 times or whatever the thing is, every state's a little bit different with this part of it, they lose their license and they can't sell tobacco products anymore. But here, we're just going to review their license.
Mm-hmm. Bullshit, man.
Shop hit with $2,500 pounds in fines and costs after selling a vape to a 16-year-old. And where did they buy this vape at? Fountain Shop and Bakery.
Yep, that's just a normal like corner shop.
I hate to tell you, but that's what's happening here. When they ban menthol cigarettes here, you better believe that you're going to be able to go into different shops. It's not going to be controlled anymore. It isn't going to be only sold at convenience stores and gas stations and drugstores, right? Places that have tobacco licenses. When you move it to the black market, you're going to lose total sight of the product sales that are out there. It's still going to be available and it's still going to be sold.
I mean, it's like we mentioned, I think it was last week, where they're selling tobacco, they should be allowed to sell vape products. So you've got that choice. But
exactly.
It should be licensed the same as tobacco, or the license the same as alcohol. It should be licensed. It isn't. I don't think it is. I don't think you have to have a license. I think I can pretty much go and open a vape shop and nothing could be said. Just need a trading license. That's it.
No, not here in the States, man. They addressed all that they moved everything under the PACT Act. Protect Americans from Cigarette Trade, I think is what the actual act is. They basically just moved vaping into tobacco product regulations that are already in existence. That's why there was a vape mail ban, because you can't actually send cigarettes through the mail. Well, technically from a person to person, you can do it, but you can't do it as a store.
No, as a trader,
and
so to speak.
You're only allowed as a customer, or an individual, you're only allowed like 2 packages a month. That's it.
I don't think they were strict over here, because like I say, you see vape shops popping up all over the shop, and you're like, there's just nothing, you go in and it's like you get by a lot of foreign people and you ask them about vape and stuff and they haven't got a fucking clue what you're talking about. And you're like, why are you running a vape shop then?
Mate, here in the States, because of how ridiculous the laws are, there's vape shops popping up all over the place, except they're not actually vape shops. There was a tobacco shop that popped up. I talked about this a while ago. We went past it when we were moving our camper this last weekend. There is no tobacco products for sale inside the building, but it's called a smoke shop. You know what is inside the building? Gambling machines. They call it a smoke shop because if you're a smoke shop, you're allowed to smoke in the building. Wow. But they don't actually have a tobacco license, and they don't actually sell tobacco products, and they don't actually sell vapes, even though they got a sign out front that says the vape's inside. We walked in, I could hardly breathe because of how much cigarette smoke was in the air. I had 8 people sitting around 8 machines that were sitting there playing their games of skill. Gambling machines.
That's probably another thing. There's a lot of loopholes that people are jumping through to do this kind of stuff as well.
People are just blatantly ignoring the law here.
Really?
They're not even paying attention to the laws.
Wow.
There are restaurants that have vape displays set up on the counter. You go into a pizza joint and there's, disposable vapes that are for sale. You're paying $20 for a cheap vape that might last you 3 or 4 days. But when they banned the vape mail, that's the only way people can get it. So people are going to pay the $20 for it. Even though they know that if they got online and if it was allowed to be shipped to them in their state, they would only pay $8 for that exact same thing. But they'll cough up to $20 because they're the only place that they can readily get access to it.
Wow.
And right now, because they are being sold in vape shops, FDA could go into where they're being sold to do age checks and verify that nobody underage is going to be allowed in the building and nobody allowed underage is going to be allowed to buy it. But when they move it to the black market, well, the FDA no longer has a clue what of the the 20 or 30,000 stores in this country are illegally selling their products. It's like playing whack-a-mole. Wow. Somebody calls a complaint in on this computer repair store for selling vapes. So the FDA goes there, sends somebody there, and they go, what are you selling vapes for? Oh, no, we don't sell them. We're actually giving them to our smoking customers.
When I get up, I can take you with us now. Hang on a minute. I'm just going to pick a vehicle. There you go. Come with me on a journey.
Nice.
Do that. I'm going back now. Oh, can I show you something else, right? Hang on, I'm going to have to turn some lights off with this thing. The lights have killed us. Hang on a minute. Bear with us. I'll knock that one off. I'll knock that one off. And now you've got...
Ooh!
But obviously the bloody lights kind of spoil it.
Black light. Oh, no, that's a projected light.
Yeah.
That is cool.
I mean, that's not doing any justice, really, is it? It's not, there you go. Woo! But obviously, when I put the lights on, it fucks it all up. But never mind, Never mind. No, because I have acquired a lot of new devices, my friend.
Looks good.
I've acquired a lot of new devices. This is silly, this isn't. I mean, it's supposed to be like a cloak of a demon and all that shit, but it's just, it's silly. It's like a bag of shit, you know. You're supposed to be the...
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's irritating. But anyway, here we are. We're back. Normality.
Hey, man, you have come up with a solution to vaping for adults.
Okay.
The Church of Vape.
Ah.
We have Kenny the Monk, and his religion is harm reduction.
Yep. All hail to the vape. All hail to the vape.
Yep, because now you can come to the United States and you can form a non-profit church, right? And for everybody that, you know, happens to put into the collection plate, well, you can go up to the altar and you can receive your holy harm reduction products. Problem solved. Regulation skirted.
Excuse me. That's it. I sneezed there because when I'd done that in there, it went, up my nose. Oh.
Jake Scrapwood says, my tinfoil hat. Big pharmaceutical and governments are in cahoots, keeping them just sick enough that they need to buy the products and pay taxes. Ban anything that interrupts this unholy union between big pharma and government. Yeah.
Excuse me. Now, where the hell that come from?
What else did I miss here?
Wow.
In Kansas, it's a $15,000 fine to a store and $2,000 fine to the individual for underage sales.
Wow. It's only right, though, you know what I mean?
Okay, Monk Kenny, I need you to read this in your religious voice.
Mm-hmm. Obey your ohms.
Obey your ohms. Obey your ohms.
Yeah, we may have hit on something here.
Fantastic.
The vaping vicar.
I need to get this chat to actually like stay current. We were like half a page scrolled away.
Look at that. Nice.
That's a sexy little beast. 18650 or 21700?
21,700. It's the SX Mini SL Class V2.
Ooh. Looks like that pod separates from the 810 pin.
And it came with an 810 pin that goes on any mod. It's a Vupu one, but it goes.
Yeah, I saw that.
On any mod. It came with that. It looks quite nice on there, actually, but still, it's just like, that's just, it's a 100-watt mod. But it came with that, right? It came with that. That's how it came. And it came with a brand new Molicel 21700 battery in, right? That was the first item. Okay.
Wow.
Interested? Have I got your attention? The second
Sure
item,
do. You have my full attention now.
The second item was this.
The Lost Vape.
Lost Vape.
Thelema? No, Centaurus.
Right.
Does the Centaurus have a DNA board?
Yes. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, there's no batteries in. I'm sure I'm going to get some batteries in, but I got that. Right. That's obviously me thing on top. I also got that, which is, as you can see,
drag.
The drag. I think it's the E60 or something. Right.
Wow.
I also got.
That reminds me of the Smock AL85.
Yeah. I also got this.
The Lux. Vaporesso Lux.
The Vaporesso Lux. This is the baby one because I also got the daddy one as well, which is the Max, which is a direct to lung pod system. This thing's heavy. Jesus, I thought when I picked it up, I went, bloody hell, it's as heavy as a mod. Right? So I got all them. Now, they're not brand new. They were from a friend at work, but I bet you couldn't guess how much I got all of that for. And you need to be sitting down.
25 pounds.
And they were all with batteries as well, all with pods, all coiled, and coils and leads. I got the whole caboodle for 45 quid.
That's a bargain, mate.
That on its own is still selling for 60, 70 quid.
Yeah.
On its own. That's just the mod.
I knew you got a bargain, and I was just throwing a crapshoot number out there, 25 pounds. But
yeah.
But then again, I was shocked to find out. I was shocked to find out when I did the podcast this week that the mean wage in the UK is like £63,000.
No, it's less. What he says what he's paying to send his children to school is twice the amount of the mean wage of the UK.
Ah, so it's only like £30,000. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because the median wage here in the United States, and we're supposed to be the richest country in the world, right, is like $50,000. 55 or something like that, 58,000. It keeps changing. The median wage is going up because the uber rich are tilting the scale so far out of kilter that anybody below $50,000 just thinks that they're supposed to be doing really good. But with food prices and fuel and insurance and everything, all the costs going up, we don't even have a living wage at $50,000 in the United States.
Not here, 30 grand. Some people who are actually in a full-time job are having to claim a type of benefit, tax credits, to top their wages up. That's how shit it is. Honestly,
I couldn't believe poverty tripled in the UK.
Yeah. Well, it's unbelievable.
That puts the cost of living crisis in a whole new light.
That's what I'm saying. People are struggling to feed themselves, are struggling to heat themselves, and they're struggling to pay for a roof over their head. The rate of inflation is... it's starting to come down, but still way too high. But nobody's wages is going up with the rate of inflation. That's why we've got train drivers on strike, we've got nurses on strike, we've got doctors on strike. Now we've got our local bus companies are on strike as well. Everybody's striking because the wages are worth naught compared to inflation. We're all in the same boat, really, when you think about it.
Yeah, and that's another fact of reality that most people don't understand unless they've taken an economics class before. You live within your means, and you establish your baseline of what your essential needs are based upon how you've been able to survive on the money that you've been regularly getting in. So here we have Jake Scrapwood says that between him and his wife, he makes $150,000 a year, and they are still living paycheck to paycheck. And depending on what part of the states you live in, the cost of living is dramatically different. In Hawaii, it's like $115,000 just to make ends meet.
Yeah.
That's not to live comfortably. That's not to have a new car. That's just so that you can have a roof over your head, food over the table, utilities are paid, you have a way to get to and from work.
I think at this current moment in time, mine and my wife's salary combined for the year is about 35k. I think that's two wages coming the house. 35k. That's it.
Meanwhile, the CEOs of big corporations are making 2, 3, 4, 500 times more than the average worker at that corporation.
Exactly.
You can't even fathom that kind of cash. They make more in a day than their employees make all year.
Easy.
Anyway.
What he's paying to send his kids to school is not even a yearly salary for a lot of people. Don't even make that in a year. 60K.
A married couple, both working full-time, would make £63,000 a year.
Nah. He pays for his school. Jesus, man. Unbelievable.
Police stunned by ingenious hiding of illegal tobacco and vapes at raided Yorkshire stores. Well, yeah. They're going to hide it because they know it's illegal, what they're doing.
Exactly. They're always one step ahead of the law, or try to get one step ahead of the law, so they're going to try new things to evade the law. That's just life, isn't it? That's how it works, no matter what you do. You know what I mean?
Perhaps if it, was reasonable and people had, I don't know, a consumer product that they could switch to that was safer, healthier, cheaper, well, then these people wouldn't have any motivation to sell these products because nobody's going to want them.
See, the ironic, the thing that's got me thinking, right? You've got shops hiding vape products, right? They're not legal vape products because vape products sold in a legitimate store, whether it be a disposable or whatever, they're not that expensive. 4 or 5 quid for a disposable. They're the illegal ones, the ones that's 8, 9, 10,000 puffs. That's the ones they're selling. That's what's cocking it all up. And that's the ones they're selling to the kids.
Well, you know what's cocking the whole situation up? They made it illegal in the first place. Your 2 mil capacity is a load of crap. You know who benefits from your 2 mil capacity? Big tobacco.
Taxman. Yeah. But you can thank the EU for that. They hide all that crap into us, the TPD and shit.
And I'd be willing to bet, just like Australia ignores their prescription requirement for nicotine, well, the consumers all across Europe and the UK completely ignore the 2 mil capacity. First thing you do is you pull a silicone bong out of your tank when you get it. Everybody's breaking the law. Nobody cares because it's a stupid law.
In Germany, they don't give a toss. They're all walking around with Titans and God knows what over there.
Yeah, and when you look at the products that they design, you know for a fact, well, demonetized because I happen to show you a product. Anyway, you can tell by the products that they make, they don't care about their TPD requirements.
No. I don't think we do as a rule, but any outlets have got to sell it to that, you know what I mean?
So looking at the long-term perspective of things, and if you like take a big overview of the situation, government is actually losing power by instituting these ridiculous laws that nobody's following. And the more people ignore the laws because they think they're stupid, well, if you were to institute an actual law that needs to be followed by everybody, well, most people are going to ignore it. They're not going to believe that you need to actually follow this law. They're so accustomed to blowing off everything anyway.
Crazy, man.
Except this shop, the two Dewsbury shops were raided in a combined operation involving West Yorkshire Police and West Yorkshire Trading Standards, seized all of their contraband tobacco and vapes worth more than £100,000. But what did it actually cost him to get those products?
Not even half. Not even half.
I'd be surprised if they had paid $20,000 for all that stuff that they have that's selling for $100,000. Because it's black market products.
Street value, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's been the same situation with the war on drugs. And I love it. I play this game. It's called Wildlands, Ghost Recon Wildlands, where you go down to a South American country where they are manufacturing coca leaves and stuff, and you have to try and dismantle the drug operation. You have to take out the drug lords and the manufacturing and the distribution and the whole nine yards, right?
Holy shit, you just hit on something. We must have some kind of telecommunication. One moment. I'm just getting...
But this is an awesome game because they put so much of the reality of the situation into it. The farmer there makes $400 for his coca fields for the course of the entire year. As soon as that thing becomes processed, it now becomes $800. And then when it crosses the border, it becomes $1,600. By the time it reaches the United States, you're like $20,000. By the time it hits Europe and the UK, it's $80,000 for a $400 product.
I've just started reading that about the takedown of the drug lords. It was the Cuban drug lords, the Cuban mafia.
Oh, yeah.
And that's I've just started reading about this, and you're talking about the game with it. Just like it's the same thing, how they took them down. Really interesting, like really good.
It's amazing when you start looking around and learning what's going on and how they're doing it and how the United States is out there, trying to be the emperor and banning it and literally burning these fields and paying for these militants to take out the drug lords.
What date was this published? Hang on. I'm trying to see when this was published because apparently they made it into a movie that was produced by Leonardo DiCaprio and it's starring Benicio del Toro. It's already like there, movie. I've never seen it. I wonder what it's called. Produced by Leonardo DiCaprio and it's starring Bianco del Toro?
Bianco del Toro.
Yeah, apparently there's a movie. But it goes from Cuba 61 to Miami 62 when they all came over the mafia shite. It's quite interesting up to now. But yeah.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
OBS. Oh, I'm here.
It just died.
There you are.
I'm here.
Wow. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, there's been plenty of things. We even talked about, there was a USA series, is a cable channel here in the States, USA, and they had a series that was on about this lady that becomes a queen pin for the drug operations. and how she actually, it tells her story about how she was basically like a counter for the drug lords and how she ended up taking over the whole operation.
Wow.
And that was a remake of the one that was originally made in Spanish in Mexico for one of the TV stations down there.
Damn.
Here we go. Armed robber threatened BP garage worker with knife before fleeing with vapes and 500 pounds.
Why? I mean, like I said, I don't understand that the legitimate vapes don't cost that much to buy. I just, wow. That's what I don't understand.
How's your gun laws protecting people
probably.
over there in the UK?
We don't have any. They're banned.
They can't have guns, so guess what? We're going to use a knife. And then what are they going to do if they ban the knives?
They kind of have banned you carrying them and all that stuff, so it's.
I guess we're going to be carrying axes or hatchets.
Oh, they'll just move on to the next thing, won't they? You know what I mean? Flamethrowers or something. Wee-hee.
Scissors. They're going to ban scissors next. What's the difference between a knife and a scissor?
Believe it or not, when we deliver kitchen knives, they've got to be age verified. A kitchen knife.
But it doesn't actually protect people because the people that don't care about the laws, they don't follow the laws. And the only people that are being penalized are the people that do follow the laws.
Kind of goes hand in hand with everything. I mean, like you say, I mean, the gun lobby in America, they're always saying guns don't kill people. Guns don't kill, people kill, I think was the last slogan. I thought, well, yeah, but they use the gun to kill you, though. You know what I mean? It's a weapon.
Right. And the thing is, prohibition doesn't work. And if they ban the guns, well, the criminals, and especially the criminal organizations, they're not going to follow the laws. They're still going to have the guns. Except now, the people aren't going to be able to protect themselves, and they're going to be reliant on a police force to do the protection. And by the time the police get there, everybody's dead.
I mean, fortunately, in the UK, we haven't got a huge gun crime problem. You know what I mean? It's just, like you say, there is black market guns out there. There's still people that can get the guns and whatever, and armed robbers and all that kind of shit. But as a general rule, that there isn't really. It's more knife crime at the moment rather than gun crime. We don't really hear much gun crime anymore. I think the last one that was a big, major one was the Dunblane massacre, when a guy went crackers up there with a gun and shot lots of people. But it's never been. Then again, after that, lots of new laws were brought in, and we've never really had much in the gun crime, or nothing notable anyway.
And with the way the economy is, I mean, you're going to see a lot more crime. There's no question about it.
Oh.
When people can't afford to heat their homes and can't afford to buy a meal for their kids, they're going to do whatever it takes to make ends meet.
Without a doubt. But that's basic. That's survival. That one. It's not so much you're a criminal. It's trying to stay alive, isn't it? Survival.
Well, the courts don't care that you were trying to get a meal. You're still going to be punished and criminalized and sent to jail.
I watched a program once, right? It was about shoplifting in the UK, right? A homeless guy went in. He stole a packet of biscuits. The store detective got a hold of him, detained him. Police came out. They explained, the bloke said, I'm homeless. And they said, when was the last time you ate? You had like a meal, a proper meal. He said, a month and a half ago. He says, so they said, how you been staying alive? He said, been in bins, shoplifting, all that crap, And the copper removed him from the shop, but he didn't actually arrest him. They went out and bought him a meal. I mean, homeless guy. What else you got to do if you've got nothing to eat? Fucking unbelievable, man.
That's like I said, I'm questioning, where did our humanity go?
Gone.
I mean,
totally gone.
Well, they keep passing these ridiculous laws. They ban flavor. All flavors in California are banned, right? They were the first ones to ban menthol, technically, because all tobacco flavors are prohibited of any sort on any product, even harm reduction products, right? And we know it's not going to work because empty cigarette packs are still littering the streets of California.
And the menthol.
So what are we going to do now that it's been banned? And the ban didn't actually fix anything. Actually made the problem worse. Now we've got more criminals than we had before because these people are breaking the law. So what are we going to do? We're going to be like Australia and ban it again?
It's all about regulation. You need to ban it. You need to regulate it more.
Reasonable regulations that people can follow and are in line with what the population is doing.
Exactly.
And once again, a reminder for those people that joined us late and didn't see the beginning. Dr. Colin Mendelsohn posted, is vaping harmful to bystanders? No. Unlike secondhand smoke, there is no evidence that passive vaping is harmful to bystanders. Like, share, have a nice day.
Exactly. How much have I missed the show here? Because our clocks went back on Sunday, so I thought I was on time. Or yours not gone back yet?
No, ours hasn't gone back. That's why I sent you that message earlier today saying, did you guys move your times? And, do we start at 4 o'clock your time? So technically the clock on your thing here is wrong. You're at 5:18 in the UK, not 6:18.
Not because I'm sure last year you did it before us by a week. Or was that
you're thinking of springtime.
Yeah, that's it. Summertime, wasn't it? Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Springtime's the opposite.
Got you. Years are first, aren't you? That's right. And we're first.
Exactly.
See, we're first for the doom and gloom. We're first for the horrible time. We're first for the doom and gloom of winter.
Yeah, speaking of doom and gloom, not so much doom and gloom. We got ourselves a new puppy. Not so much a puppy, he's a 6-year-old dog. Friend of ours had it. Can't, take care of it and stuff. Cost of living increases and stuff. It's just too much of a burden, especially with the dog getting older and might need to go to the vet, might get sick or something, because these dogs typically end up getting arthritis and whatnot. So we got a new dog in the house. And obviously I have her kenneled up right now during the show because she's still acclimating. She just got here a couple days ago. And she's still acclimating herself to the house and to the 2 dogs we already have here. Still afraid of these 2 pussy cats that we have laying in the room. Yeah, they're so vicious, these 2. So vicious.
Oh. Okay.
So needless to say, she's downstairs right now, and she's not happy about being kenneled up, knowing that these 2 are roaming about. But because she's still lashing out about missing her owner, I'm not taking the chance of leaving her out the house. She already made a mess first thing this morning while we were still sleeping.
Oh, great, yeah.
Which is frustrating. You get a brand new dog. You take them out with, on a regular basis, on a routine that you're used to giving for your existing dogs. And they're protesting about having to be rehomed. And they won't go while they're outside, or they will go a little bit. And then they come back in the house, and 5 minutes after you get them back in the house, they leave a mess. It's like,
I'd say exactly like mine. Mine, the one we got, he was a rescue dog. We're going from the kennels. When I think where it was, he'd been in the kennels for about a year. So obviously, when in the kennels, even though they're roaming around, they're in a cage. So obviously, they were doing their business in the cage. In between being exercised. So this is how he came to us. You take him out on an exercise, nothing. But like you come back, open the back door, let him in the yard. Bump. He used to do it in the yard all the time. It took a while to get him to do it, but you get there in the end. Like,
yeah, and a 6-year-old dog does not need potty trained. They need to get over the emotional trauma of having to deal with a new owner, a new environment, and new dogs that are cohabitating with them. All right, quick look into the chat before we jump into our flavor explosion.
Ooh.
Mallory Gates says, how many millions, if not billions, are spent just to legislate nicotine vaping at all levels of government? And how much money is wasted on policing the illegal activities that everybody is doing? They don't even realize how big the problem is because according to their scientific data and their sales figures that they have, well, when they ban it, it disappears off of the books. It's gone. We don't sell menthol stuff anymore. We don't sell these flavored things in New York anymore. So there isn't a problem. Except when you walk into any store and you go, well, you're selling it, you're selling it, you're selling it. And I see the waste products, these recyclables that are not being recycled, these single-use products are laying all over in the streets. Well, your ban didn't do anything. It made the problem worse because now people are flagrantly breaking the law.
Exactly. It's just like...
Here's one for you, Kenny. Jake Scrapwood says that his handgun identifies as a remote-operated hole punch. And please don't misidentify his other office peripherals.
I like that. That's very clever. Very clever. A punch hole, eh? A hole punch.
A hole punch. And William Dobson reminds everybody, get your hand checks in. For those of you who haven't posted on there, William Dobson's the only one we've had so far that I saw. And Dusty's just bought 8 more gallons of VG and 2 gallons of PG. And I need to join you and place another order because I couldn't help myself, made a refill for the cinnamon Danish swirl muffins. I really like this thing, and I poured it right out of here.
I love it.
I've really, really gotten to love that cinnamon Danish swirl muffin. It's got just enough cinnamon, and it's got the cupcake aspect, and it's got frosting. It's a complete cinnamon Danish swirl muffin, like an Entenmann's cinnamon swirl muffin. Or Entenmann cinnamon muffin here in the States.
Well, I just I nipped down the vape shop to get some fresh coils for these. I mean, he had one unused, but they were shite. You know, he's a mouth to lung. He likes his pods, so the coils were like 0.4 and all that, like 20, 30 watts. Went, need something better. So I went down and got some 0.15, some 0.2 coils, right?
Nice.
As you do. But while I was there, I had these on a seal type of thing. These guys. Sad Boy.
Becky Harris,
cookie.
hello and welcome to the stream.
Sad Boy butter
Sad
cookie.
Boy cookie butter.
Boy butter cookie and Sad Boy custard cookie. 2 bottles, 15 quid. So I went, it would be daft not to participate, wouldn't it?
You little son of a... My wife bought a little Sad Boy thing. It was a little 30 ml bottle and paid way more than $15 for it.
Oh, they're lovely. And now the cookie range, that cookie range is quite nice. That's a bit like the one that that yellow mess I normally vape from Butter Vapes. That butter cookie is pretty much on pot. It's pretty much a similar flavor. So I went, yep, I love that. So I've been trying in these. I've got custard in one and the butter cookie in the other, and they're quite nice.
All right, let's go do our flavor explosion, and then we can do our hand checks together.
Drinky time.
Up for your edification today, I came prepared like any pave mom would. This one's dedicated to you. I have a beautiful bottle of Mogan David Blackberry wine, 10% alcohol by volume, and it is such a big bottle that I'm having quite a hard time holding it with just one hand. And it's so posh, we can just screw the cap right off.
I actually thought you were going to just take a glug out of the bottle there when you mentioned posh.
I thought about it, but I don't think the pave moms would do that. However, I do think this is an appropriate glass that I think the pave moms would have, with their proper English and all. Is you 30? Bitch, I might be.
Well, I have gone back to a one that I believe our friend Paul liked. I've gone back to the Bodies. This wonderful, wonderful cream floor bitter. Absolutely
Boddington's Draft Beer.
Boddington's Draft Bitter. It's beautiful stuff. This one it's 3.4% alcohol, but I've got plenty of them, so it will kick in eventually. And again, when you just do the little widget thing, there you go, you see that. And then it's just a case when you pour, you just got to wait for this guy just to settle in. Hang on, where we're there? No, we're there. There you go. You just wait for this thing to settle in. It just goes nice, cloudy, then you just wait for it to clear up. Absolutely gorgeous stuff. There you go. As you see, it just
that is gorgeous, mate.
Just looks like a champagne, and as you see, it's starting to clear at the bottom. It's just definitely good stuff, guys. Definitely love this stuff. Paul's right, you can't beat a good can of Bodies. There you go, nice and clear. So all I can say now is to your health, sir, and bottoms up.
To your health, sir. I love this wine.
Smooth. I love this stuff. It's so smooth, beautiful.
It is such a sweet wine. Blackberries.
I like wine, but I'm a red wine fan. I'm not a big fan of white. I think it's too vinegary, but red is just lovely.
Too many tannins in the white. But when you eat certain things, it's actually better pairing. Like fish is better with a white wine.
Oh yeah.
However, this
red wine.
My wife yesterday made a lasagna soup.
Red meat.
This would pair perfectly with that. Matter of fact, that's what I'm going to have after the stream today as my lunch, late lunch. Good thing I got a big glass, a big bottle.
That's an interesting one.
A bastard wants to know why I'm not live on Rumble.
On Rumble?
Actually, I haven't checked that out and set that up. I'm not sure if you are allowed to stream live without paying for it on Rumble.
I'm not sure about Rumble. I don't know how it works.
Listen, I set up Rumble because, you never know when YouTube's going to clamp down and just arbitrarily ban you. Matter of fact, the podcast I uploaded was denied monetization because it obviously talked about something prohibited. I'm not sure what actually triggered it. It doesn't tell you. It just says that content was identified during your video that is no longer eligible for monetization of any kind, except for YouTube subscribers that don't get shown advertising.
I don't know. It's just hard to keep up with it now because, like I say,
I'm honestly just trying to figure out the ropes. What is allowed and what crosses over the line? I've put stuff up there that blatantly looks, to my knowledge, looks like it should have crossed over the line, and it's perfectly fine. maybe 6 months or a year down the road, it'll get age gated and whatever. But generally speaking, I don't have a clue what the actual limit is.
That's what I'm saying. Even with this show, we're discussing vaping and we're obviously discussing the politics side.
Oh, this one's automatically prohibited because of the content, and it's the retro vapes that pushes it over. But there's like when we do the hand checks, that could push it over too because the algorithm looks for specific things. Like the only thing I did on the podcast that was actually product specific was I talked about how the Enjoy Ace.
Yeah. Focus.
Seriously, camera. Is manufactured by Phelim. Phelim is the parent corporation for Vaporesso. And I wasn't trying to push the Enjoy Ace. I was simply stating Big Tobacco's in partnership with traditional vape company. The lines are completely blurred now. When I first started vaping, there were all these vape companies that had nothing to do with Big Tobacco at all.
I mean, that's like when a lot of the reviews were getting strikes of content that made like 3 years ago just because that links and all that stuff, the descriptions. And that was the outcry. I says, you cannot like expect us to make a video 5 years ago where your rules were different to suddenly change it now when you decide to move the goalposts. I mean, that's historic. That's it. It's history. There's nothing we can do about it. But no,
and that was my complaint is you're literally removing historic content. We've got almost 2 decades of vaping. And they were literally going back to the beginning and, basically removing these videos, banning them. And then the content creators were removing the videos because they didn't want to get the channel strikes.
Exactly.
It's historical content. You can't even buy the products anymore.
No, man. I mean, what next? Are you going to start banning all historical videos of, past tyrants and past this and past that?
I've got a dad joke that applies exactly what you're saying there.
I mean,
I guarantee you that, the generation that's currently running the things and in charge of the things that are in the process of rewriting history, there's one thing you can definitely count on. Things are going to be misspelled and misattributed, and the facts are going to be completely wrong.
I mean, like I said, there was one, it's been a few months ago now, about Winston Churchill saying that he was racist, he was homophobic, he was anti-Semitist and all this shit. And they're like, hang on, mate, you're chatting to one of the world's greatest leaders who led us through fucking the World War. You know what I mean? What difference does it make now? Times were different then. People were different then. You know what I mean? Everything was different then. That is a captured moment of that time. Same with your TV programs now, your political correctness. There's programs that were on our TVs 20 years ago that would never, ever be broadcast now because there'd be absolute hell on. You know what I mean? Because they were racist and everything. But that's what it was in them days. Nobody's saying it was right or wrong, but that's what happened in that time. Maybe
the purpose of having knowledge of history is so that you don't repeat the mistakes made by previous generations.
Exactly.
And when you eliminate history, you eliminate a basis of comparison for future generations to look back and go, that is something we do not want to repeat by our generation.
Exactly. You know what I mean? It's phenomenal how they're like going back to historical stuff and saying, it happened in that time, in that era, in the place we were at that time. It's totally different from now. That's history. That's what it's all about. You know what I mean? What next? Adam and Eve. Are you going to say Adam raped Eve or something? You know what I mean? Stop them. How okay. Where do you draw the line? Do you know what I mean?
There shouldn't be a line.
Exactly.
Internet freedom was supposed to be the savior for everybody because Yeah, you get easy access to pornography and all this bad stuff, right? But the fact of the matter is, when you have easy access to things, just like we were talking about drinking, if you introduce a child to alcohol at a young age, here, just taste this. It's Christmas. We're doing a toast. I'll give you a little tiny glass, a little bit on the bottom of it. Taste it. And just like you experienced, this really doesn't taste that good. I'll take my sparkling apple juice because it tastes better. Well, guess what? They're no longer curiosity piqued, teenagers looking to find out what's the fuss about.
William Dobson states there, Benny Hill is a good example. No, you would never get away with that now. Not in a million years.
I loved watching Benny Hill when I was a teenager. I snuck my way into watching that as much as I could.
But in them days, it was like slap and tickle. It was slap and tickle humor. Slap and tickle humor. That's what it was. Now that's classed as harassment and God knows what. Now it's like, well,
and sexist and they can't be dressing like that and.
Different time.
Right, but it's okay to, watch all the pornography you want and download all the, Anyway, let's go take a look at everybody's hand checks.
Ooh.
Here we go. Billy Lee Rice posted Hell Vape, Hell 200, and the Osiris 30mm RTA on top. So yummy, vanilla custard inside.
Oh, you're talking my language, mate. He's talking my language.
I love this Osiris. I need to finish up the review for the Osiris, the Blaze and the Blaze Solo. I've got so many things that are in the works right now. I'm finally just about done with this Peak Bar. The first one that I've ever found with a display on it. Down to 6% of the e-liquid. Fantastic. I've got a new product that I started to review. I posted it on Facebook and Twitter, masking. This thing is sleek as all hell with an aluminum outside case. And how thin it is. I mean, it's perfect for your jean pocket. You could sit on this thing and not worry about it falling apart or breaking it. But I have yet to find one. Red Vapes and Advocates left me a comment on one of the review videos I posted. He's looking for a disposable that has no cooling to it whatsoever. Just regular flavor. And the other one that I just got in from Oxva, these guys constantly one-upping it, right? I thought the Peak Bar was the greatest thing in the world because of the fact it's got a display, tells you the battery percentage, tells you how much of your e-liquid you have left in here before you better start looking for a replacement device. Well, guess what Oxva did? Oxva one-upped it. This thing is the Oxbar Pro. I did the other Oxbar earlier. Looks like this. They're both hanging back there. This one, definitely not for the UK. 10,000 puffs.
Oh, no, that's not going to get away yet. Not in a million years.
10,000 puffs.
That ain't happening, mate.
It has a display, and it is the world's first adjustable wattage disposable.
Wow. That's cool.
Comes with a lanyard, free adjustable airflow control. It has a screen on there. I'm looking forward to opening that up and giving that a try. So many things going on, so many things to finish up. But I truly love this Osiris. And then we have Scott Merriman posted his. He's got the old starter pod out. This is the Smock Pause Pro with some butter lemon cookie. Awesome. And then William Dobson, classic topside dual with the nitrous RDA.
Oh, topside dual, awesome bit of kit.
Nice. And first dad joke of the day. Whoever told me to leave my car at the pub and take a bus home, turns out I was in no fit state to drive that at home either. That's some GTA shit right there.
Definitely.
Can you see Trevor jumping on a bus and driving that throughout town?
Oh, yes, without a doubt. That's got to be a GTA moment on it.
Fantastic.
Why do you exist? You
Why
make me
do
want
you
a
exist?
lobotomy.
It might actually be so I can provide you with some more dad jokes.
We must ban disposables. Yep.
Hi, big tobacco company. We must ban disposables. They're taking all of our money. We're not selling cigarettes anymore. Yeah. Amazing. When you look at the actual scientific data, this is from New Zealand Health Survey prevalence for daily smoking and daily vaping. With the 10 tobacco excise increases and annual CPI adjustment, as vaping has grown, there has been an equal displacement of cigarette smoking.
Yeah.
Bye-bye cigarettes. And here is another simplified chart for you. Current vaping is 16.5%. Cigarette smoking as of last year is down to 8%.
Holy shit.
I think you should be grateful that they are using a product that is much less harmful for them. You've saved an entire generation from certain types of cancer. And this is the thumbnail I used for the podcast this week. How much do you make? And you'd be surprised that if you think you're making really good money, you might not be as well off as you think you are. And just for Halloween, there you go. Cat in the Hat. I do not like cancer here or there. I do not like cancer anywhere. Martha, coffee in hand, supplies at the ready, settles in, waiting for the first telemarketer to call today. I never really understood this Beatles song until now. He's a real nowhere man, sitting in his nowhere land, making all his nowhere plans for nobody. Doesn't have a point of view and knows not where he is going. Bacon is 73% fat and very salty. Me too, bacon. Me too. Here's a piece of history for you. Here's a 5 megabyte hard drive being shipped by IBM in 1956.
Fucking hell. They weren't big in them days, weren't they? When you think about it.
So close, mate. So close.
Oh no.
I think it's time to cut your bangs. You've been guarding a pile of rocks all day.
Yep.
Mommy, Daddy, where did I come from? We did the mash.
We did the mash.
We did the monster mash.
Monster mash. The monster mash.
The hypocrisy from the police department. Don't use your devices while you drive. Also the police.
Yep. Same here.
I bet those cops got SCMODs. SCMODs? State County Municipal Offender Data System.
Yep. That was in the Blues Brothers, wasn't it? But they've got SCMODs. Remember?
SCMOD. Yeah, exactly.
SCMODs. You've got SCMODs. It was in the Blues Brothers, that wasn't it? And then he said it, did he? State, county, blah, blah, blah. Really? That's what he got pulled, did he? Oh, but you've got no license. Oh, well, bye-bye.
Start it up, spin tire, and get the hell out of there. Time to take a tour through the mall. New Oldsmobiles are in early this year. Processed food companies, when they decide to put natural on the label. You know what I mean?
Bullshit.
Hey! Nah, just a beer, please. I just ate.
Oh, God.
Mi casa es su casa, but mi taco es mi taco.
What the fuck?
My home is your home, but my taco is my taco.
Well, fair enough. You had me lost for that, but never mind.
Listen, the tree fell years ago, but it never gave up.
Yeah, just like that tree that got felled here. It's going to grow again, man. It's a healthy tree.
That's just like me on YouTube. I'm going to keep putting the videos out. I don't care whether they ban it, whether they demonetize it. The information's getting put out there, and eventually somebody's going to come across it and go, holy crap.
Exactly.
This I thought was pretty cool. You know how I love the Oxva X-Slim, right? Wonderful. I call it the best pod of 2023. They one-upped it. Oxva is always one-upping it. I can't get over this thing. I mean, you would think I'm a paid spokesman for Oxva, but I'm not. They haven't paid me anything ever. They came out with a 0.4 ohm coil for those of us that like more of a direct-to-lung. They got a 0.6, a 0.8, and a 1.2 ohm coil for those people that have a really tight mouth-to-lung draw. And for those countries where it's banned to have the ability to refill your pod, they even have pre-filled cartridges available.
Can I just say, does that not just look sexy with that Kylan on top of it? Oh.
Ooh, sure does.
Does that not look good? Damn. It's only 100 watt more, but why? It's yee-hee. What do you expect? Yee-hee. Love it.
Adults don't like flavors.
Nope. How come they all look like bottles of urine? Exactly the same.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what flavor it is. They all look the same color.
That looks like what comes out after you've drank it.
I'm personally grateful that they're not adding food coloring for useless purposes. It's first off, it's not actually juice. Obviously, blue raspberry flavored anything isn't going to be juice. It's sugar water. Why color it? Be grateful that it's flavored.
Well, there's that.
Here's a reality for us. UPS. Your package is in your city on the truck being driven by Mike and will arrive at exactly 6:27 p.m. today. FedEx. Your package is coming and we'll get it there when we get it there. Postal Service. What package?
It's just like, oh, listen, you what?
And then 5 minutes later, it's been delivered. And then you with Amazon, mate. We're already inside your residence, and you better check the bathroom because we already put it on your shelf for you. And then there's Facebook. We know that you were thinking about getting a toaster oven yesterday, so here's 20 ads for a toaster oven today.
Yeah.
You've heard of Dollar General?
Oh. I like it. That's cool.
That gives a whole new definition of Dollar General. Not the General Lee, the Dollar General.
Yep.
Here, a bit of fact for you. Prince played 27 instruments. He played all the instruments on his first 5 albums. One of them actually used all 27 of them. This man was a musical genius.
He definitely was. Absolutely very talented guy.
Well, the first one to start the trend of artists changing their names because they sold their soul to the music label and realized that was a bad decision.
I've still got his album, Purple Rain. Still got it. Awesome
Buddy, I was trying
album.
to get some firewood ready for the winter, but it's pretty cold out.
I see where that's coming from, yeah.
How old were you when you realized that it's called candy corn because if you stack it all up like this, it actually looks like corn?
I wouldn't have the
Or
patience
did I
to
just
do
teach you
that.
something new?
You certainly have, like. I'm kind of scratching my head at that one.
I can hear Walter Cronkite's voice in my head. War itself is, of course, a form of madness. It's hardly a civilized pursuit. It's amazing how we spend so much time inventing devices to kill each other and so little time working on how to achieve peace.
How true a word. How true a word.
I would do anything for love. Please stop buying new mods and atomizers. But I won't do that.
I won't do that.
I present you the worst case scenario. That's a not works. Bratwurst. Our house in the middle of the street.
Oh my God.
Here's something that should relieve those dizzy spells. Stop chasing your tail.
I know why. Why do dogs do that? Why do they do that? Come on.
Simple yet effective Halloween treat.
We've done that before. I've made them before. Hot dog fingers.
T-bone. Beef loin, T-bone steak, humanely raised but occasionally verbally abused.
Fair enough.
Making Halloween candy corn great again.
That looks like somebody's tooth.
Doesn't look like Donald Trump?
Possibly.
As I watch this generation try to rewrite history, one thing I am sure of, it will be misspelled and have no punctuation.
True, right. True, right.
And they won't even blink an eye about it.
No.
Awesome comparison of an old growth 2x4 versus a new growth 2x4. Notice the old growth has 60 rings and the new growth only has 16. The old wood is more dense, stronger, burns slower, and is more insect resistant. The new wood was grown for the sole purpose of being used for timber, and the old growth was taken from natural forests, which have very few in existence today.
True.
In the 80s,
rainforest, chopping for fun.
Life was so much simpler.
Oh, yeah. It was, you know what I mean? You know, people like gone on about the old days. Now, you were prehistoric. We didn't have any worries then, man. We didn't have, we just did our own entertainment, didn't have a care in the world, no social media, nobody calling you a tosser on Facebook, whatever it was. None of that. It was great, man. Brilliant. Brilliant times.
Yep. Everybody had a boombox. Everybody was bragging about the latest cassette that they bought. I remember when that one came out with Phil Collins. Listen to the thing front and back.
I remember. I don't know if like you have it or you still have it in America. You probably have America's your top 40 charts. In the UK, the top 40 charts. You've got America top 40 charts. Your top 40 album charts.
Casey Kasem.
Play it, but they still do. They still play it every Sunday. Here's your top 40. It's out for about an hour. You know, like when you're trying to tape your records, you had the record down, the pause button, and you were just ready to stop it because the DJ would always speak, wouldn't he, when the record wasn't finished? You know, and the DJ would speak at the end. You'd go, "You bastard!" You remember when you tried to tape them off the radio? It was class.
You ruined the recording.
Yeah.
My first boombox was from when I was a toddler. It was one of those Sesame Street cassette players. And I would literally set that in front of the radio to record the songs off the radio. make my own mixtapes.
We just had a basic cassette player with your mic you plugged in, so you could talk and you could record yourself. It was cool.
Yeah.
Done with the days.
The problem, Mr. Fudd, is that you've been having a subliminal effect on everyone in the factory. We're proud of our product, Mr. Fudd, and there's no company in the world that builds a finer screwdriver. Dang, now you got me doing it. 2 reactions I get from my sense of humor. Bust out laughing, or what is wrong with you? This is called media fact checkers. Well, how does it work? I cheat and tell everybody you're a liar.
Fair enough. Yeah. I can go with that.
Fred was locked out. He banged on the door and yelled. I just wondered to myself, why didn't he just go through the window?
Pretty much like
Wilma! Eye of newt, wool of bat, toe of frog, pills of Viagra. Tilly and Gert making punch for the seniors' home Halloween party.
I would have some of that. Easy.
Hey, here's some evidence of global warming for you. From 1900 to 2020.
How true.
There's no point in losing sleep worrying about the bills. We'll just auction off the kids. Go make some more. I tried cooking supper with wine tonight. Didn't go so well. After 5 glasses, I forgot why I was even in the kitchen.
Been there, done that.
You're puppies. So no matter how hard I try to make you look scary, you still look adorable.
Oh, shucks.
Yes, I received your paperwork, and my assistant, Ed, is sitting on it right now. I mean, he's on it right now. That's the dentist pumpkin. Threw my underwear on the stage at a concert once. Oddly enough, the band threw it back. Can't figure out why. Hillbilly motorcycle, the good old Kawasaki.
Oh, God, no. I was waiting for the barrel one. Like,
even dogs do it. Tell her you're a guard dog. Yeah, tell her a Rottweiler. That you're single and you're neutered.
Bullshit.
And one to make you go, what the hell happened there?
Oh, shit. How the hell?
That's what happens when you don't empty the first tank at the front of the tanker and just empty everything behind it.
I see. But even so, I mean...
Whoops.
Wow.
And there you go. Halloween.
That's a
buddy of
cool
mine,
one.
Matt, carved that for Halloween this year.
That's awesome.
And that wraps up the dad jokes for this week.
See, we haven't got that kind of adventure over here. We just carve them as normal.
Listen, when I was a kid, I wasn't allowed to carve them. We could draw on them with a highlighter because my mom wanted to cook them into actual pumpkin pies for Thanksgiving.
Nowadays, that's something I've never eaten, a pumpkin. I've got no idea what it tastes like, anything. Never had one.
Well, first off, when you buy a pumpkin pie in the store, it's not actually made out of pumpkin. It's made out of squash.
Oh, is that butter
But they
squash
put
or
so
what
much
you call it,
sugar
yeah?
and spice and seasoning in there, you can't even tell the difference. However, when you do actually take a pumpkin and you cook it, clean it, and roast the seeds. It still tastes the same because of the sugar and the seasoning.
Is
Nutmeg.
it sweet? Like is it like a dessert? It's not a savory. No, it's a dessert. That's something I've never ever had. Never had a pumpkin.
Delicious. I love it.
See, we were poor. We used to carve turnips with literally a blinking drill because the turnips that hard. You were digging. It took you hours to carve a turnip. It was that hard? You were hammers, chisels, everything. But there was something about a turnip when you had that. It had that smell. It was a lovely smell. Now when you put your candle in, you lit it and all that, and you could smell it. It was a gorgeous smell. You knew it was Halloween by the smell of the turnips. Awesome. Awesome stuff.
All right. Got the music on. We're already at the 2-hour mark, believe it or not.
I never knew that.
What's that?
There's an extension kit for the Osiris.
Really?
Oh,
now you got me on the hunt.
I'll have to have a look at that one.
That would be awesome.
It's got to be tank capacity, hasn't it? It's got to be taller. You can't make it wider. It's got to be taller. Take my tank, maybe bring back a stump. Exactly. There were the days.
Yup, and if you want to know where everybody was, look for the pile of bikes in the front yard.
Yep, that was it.
You huffed it
Look for that.
to get where you wanted to go.
Good man.
Until you got your driver's license, and then you get an old beat-up station wagon, and you paint it flat black so you can drive around like the Blues Brothers. And get suspended from school for parking the way they parked when they went to the restaurant. Bad juju. But you know what? To be honest with you, it was worth it. It was only 1 week suspension from driving.
Extension kit just looks, I don't know, it just looks like glasses. Just having a look there, it just looks like glasses.
Now you got me curious.
It's just like, it looks like glasses. They're only £18 UK. Hang on. Yeah, it just looks like a glass.
Wow. Yeah, and it's got a little chimney extension on it.
Yeah. That's the one, yeah.
So basically it's just a taller glass and a short chimney extension.
Yeah. How much is it there? I found it cheaper. Hang on, mate. Give us a minute.
I'm sure you would.
Get rid of that. Hang on. There you go. Evolution Vape and £12.49.
That's a good deal.
Yeah. Oh, I might have to invest in one of them. Wonder what it would take it up to then, capacity wise. And obviously, how much would it affect the flavour?
It couldn't be much, mate. As flavorful as this tank is. Listen, remember what we did last week, right? I had to work on the truck, finish up, get ready to do the move. Ended up finding 2 stuck caliper pins on the front brake.
Oh, yes, you did. They were so seized, weren't they?
Yeah, so I pulled them off, and I pulled out the wire wheel and just cleaned up the pins and got the stainless steel thing and, reamed out the hole, got all the clean and rust and stuff out of it, and the pins literally just fell in and out. So I just threw some new pads on and put it back together, and then I put the new calipers I bought for the rear on. Man, the thing stops on a dime now. I don't ever recall the brakes being that good.
The thing is, we call it copper slip over here. I don't know if you call it copper grease over there in your part of the world. It's like an anti-season stuff. Stick some of that on.
I got some.
That's what you want.
I used to use the copper flakes, anti-seize on there, but Ford calls for this new silicone stuff to put on there. Because when you put the silicone in there, it's supposed to prevent the water infiltration totally.
I've got you. It's like an anti-repellent, moisture repellent.
Yeah. The BMWs used to use the copper flakes all the time as part of their specs. And so my father-in-law, my first marriage, had given me a jar of that stuff.
It's like a paste. It's just a paste, you just put them. I've used it all the time for threads, anti-season threads. We're putting it in bolt on, just put a little bit on. Even me wheel nuts on my car. Put a little bit on the wheel nuts. Never seize them. Brilliant.
Not on the wheel threads. Not here.
Wow.
I just torque mine. Fantastic. So what do we want to get into today? Do you want to do the retro vape first, or do you want to do the random recipe?
Well, you see, I don't know what the retro vape is because I wasn't here, so I'm curious.
The retro vape is the Valerian 2 mod and a Smock TFV, I don't know.
V99 200.
I have to wait for it to turn all the way around. The Prince TFV 12, I think it is.
Oh, the good old Prince, man. Class. I think this has got a DNA board in, but I don't think it's an advanced DNA board. No, like what else?
Yeah, the Centaurus is the DNA.
It's not the advanced one, but it's there. It's a DNA board. It's all right, like cool, brand new. Hasn't even been. He's used it once out the box.
That's it.
Brand new.
You got a bargain for £45.
He's used that once. They were too airy for him because he just likes his little pods, little disposables and shit. That's because he's a MTL vapor. I thought, well, what the fuck did you buy that for then?
Yeah. Listen, non-fatal mistake. I dropped this thing. Friends of mine were coming over to pick up the DJ stuff, and I dropped this thing, and the glass has actually got a crack on it right through here because I was a dumbass and I removed a good old cock ring, right, that I had on it to protect it. I couldn't see because I have the short chimney on, and so if I would have had the tall chimney on, it wouldn't have been a problem. But because I have the short chimney on, the ring completely covers the glass. So I couldn't tell when it was going to be empty. And I didn't want to, ruin the cotton. Waiting for it to actually change flavor and taste to go, oh, this is starting to burn. I better fill it up. But I took the ring off. Not thinking about it. I was working on the truck the next day. Dropped the thing. Cracked the glass.
Is it the straight glass or the bubble?
Straight. The short glass that came with it. Although, fortunately, Al Ben sent me...
lots of glasses.
So I'm good to go. We got a nice extension around here. I got the tall glass with the chimney extension. And I love this tank. It has been my daily drag.
Awesome bit of kit, man.
Love it. I'm a bad paved dad.
Oh. Get it down, you son. Well, I'm glad everything's working. The hog on the e-cig is cheaper than the Evolution. Ooh.
All right, mate. Now that you know what the retro vape is, do you want to do retro vape or a random recipe first?
I want to go retro vape, mate. I like hardware. I like the hardware.
Perfect. Long time ago in a galaxy not so far away, UL made the Valerian 2 mod, and Smock came out with a TFV-12 Prince tank. And I had to throw on some masking tape to cover up the prohibited URLs.
Yep. The dreaded URLs, mate.
Whack jobs at YouTube. Meanwhile, if you go to their parent corporation, Google, and type in UL Valerian 2, they'll give you everything you need. So what did banning URLs in videos actually do? Besides make creators' lives miserable.
If you watched a vape review and you fancy that, the first thing you're going to do is Google search, blah, 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 and bang, there you go. And it even lists all the places where you can actually buy it. So, it's pointless. Another pointless rule.
It made somebody feel better.
Oh, God.
Personally, I think it's part of a antitrust lawsuit that they're eventually going to have to face. Because the only people that it's actually benefiting is Google, because it forces you to Google it.
Yep.
Ruh-roh. That's when they sealed everything properly. Even though you took the wrap off, you still got a piece of tape in there.
I actually reckon that was a good mod. It's dear, like.
Look at this. This is a plastic case, a solid plastic case. It's not some chintzy cardboard box.
That's when
look at that color,
packaging, my friend. Wow, that's a nice color. I actually like that.
It's purple.
It's purple, not pink.
Purple rain, purple rain. Oh no! Ruh-roh.
3 batteries, my friend. 3 batteries.
Got a little problem here, mate.
Don't tell me you have not got 3 batteries. I do not believe that you have not got 3 batteries. I can't believe
I've got 2 sets of triple battery matched batteries. But hold on. Come on, buddy. Go lay down in your bed.
Holy shit, this kicks out some fucking vape. This, Jesus Christ. Wow.
Well, I'm going to have to break a cardinal sin, and I'm going to have to put unmatched batteries in there.
You'd be okay for a demo.
You know what? That's okay. They may not be a match set, but they're at least the exact same battery. They were bought at the same time.
A good set of batteries.
They haven't been matched
up. A good
up.
set of batteries. Yep. Even if they're in a good, healthy state, mate, they'll be fine, man. For what you want to do with them.
Hello, UL.
I'll tell you what it is like. For a pod that's only running at 60 watts, this does not produce some fucking vape. Jesus.
Get the hell out of here.
Fucking look. Look at this, man. Fucking hell.
300 watts?
Yep.
I doubt it's actually going to hit 300 watts. In second place, what are you going to use that's going to need 300 watts?
Well, how are the new Hogs 400 watts?
Yeah, well, Birdman will probably use it.
I don't know, if 318, 650 batteries. What's that in amperage combined? Well, the 25, you got 25 amp ones or 30 amps in there.
I forget what the brown ones were. 20 maybe? 60 amps figure.
300 watts. Ooh.
I always did like the triple battery mods. This one's a little smaller than the other one that I have, but I love the fact that it's got the trigger fire. It naturally forms to fit your hand with the 3 batteries, and then the offset 510 pin. These were always more comfortable to use. And with the 18650s, it just naturally fits in your hand.
They were quite ergonomic, as they say, weren't they?
Yeah. And I like this box. Wow. Obviously very easy to use. There you go. TFV12 Prince tank.
Good old fucking smoky princes, eh?
There you go. What is that? 0.4 ohms, 40 to 100 watts. Best 60 to 80.
Did you realize, right, that, where is it? Oh, where mouse were you? Did you realize that Smock done a triple battery one was the Smock T-Priv 3?
I've got a...
They've done a 3 battery bot. Smock did a T-Priv 3.
I've got a Smock 4 battery one.
4? Wow.
Come on, go.
Holy cow, that's good.
Come on. Poochie, please. Just go lay in your bed. My oldest dog won't lay in the bed that the new dog laid in last night.
I'm going to try and see if I can get mine, you know. Have you seen my dog? You haven't seen him, have you?
So here we have, folks, the GX350 from Smock.
There you go.
4 batteries.
Come on. Come here. I'm going to show you my boy. Come here. Come on. Howie, up. Come on then. Up you get. Howie. Come on. Howie. Come on then. Howie. There you go. Come on. Come on. Up you come. Howie. Come on then. Howie. Get up. Come on. Howie. Come on. There you go. Come here. Howie. He won't get up now. He doesn't this time. Come here. There you go. Come here. There you go. Come here. Come here, you gorgeous fella. There you go. There he is.
Nice.
What do you reckon of this fella? What do you reckon of this fella?
I like him.
Oh, my little stuffy beagle. Who's that? Who's that? Who's my
Hey, how you doing there, buddy?
Thank you, God. Who's that? He's a gorgeous boy, isn't he? He's a lovely lad. A lovely little fella, aren't you? You're gorgeous. You stink. He's got breath like a blinging sheep's fanny.
Yours too. Oh. That's the way my jester is.
You stink. Do you smell? Do you smell? Isn't he the cutest little thing you've ever seen? He's a gorgeous
I love
boy,
him.
yeah?
I love him, mate.
You're a beauty, aren't you, son? Huh? You're famous, mate. You're on YouTube. Yeah, you're on YouTube, aren't you? He's a good boy. He's a good boy. You're a lovely boy. Yeah. Oh, you're gorgeous. Go on then. There you go. Go on then, go lie down. Oh, you want to be out now, do you? You know what a pain in the arse it is. You want to be out? Go on. Go see Mum. Go on then. You bugger. Any other time he scratched at the door trying to get in. He's awesome. Love him to bits.
We all love our poochies. Mine's literally sitting on my feet now because I asked him to move out of the way. He's got some insecurity. He's always been jealous.
He's a big softy. He is. He's gorgeous.
So what do you think of this, mate?
We got him. The good old smoke.
They had their double round wire coils.
Round wire coil. My God. That's a blast.
And then they also had your dual coil option. And you could get all kinds of crazy coils like this one.
Oh, the six coil one. Jesus
This
Christ.
one's 5.
I remember
But
that.
they have a 6 coil one as well.
That's right. I remember the 6 coil one. I mean, to be honest, they weren't fantastic for flavour, but they could chuck clouds. That's what they were, the cloud chuckers.
Yeah, and they call them a T10 because even though they're 5 cotton wicking holes, they're doubled up just like all the other coils are.
You know what you think about it, right? Because like back then, you had like your wattage race, didn't you? And Smok were quite ahead, you know, because honestly, their coils could vape at very high watts. I mean, they weren't the greatest, but they could get there. You know what I mean?
Well, that's like this one here. 0.15 ohm. There's actually 4 wires in there, not just 2. 50 to 120 watts. Best 80 to 100.
120 watts. That was
You were
massive in the
plowing
day.
through liquid.
Yeah.
And then this one, 0.12. 60 to 120, best 80 to 110. 110 watts.
That's probably why they did the last 2 minutes, because people were sitting vaping them at ridiculous wattages and burning the fucking coils out.
Yeah, it's like this one here. 0.2 best, 60 to 80 watts. Single coil. You don't want to be pushing this at 80 watts. With that round wire, as soon as you singe that cotton, forget it. Then you'll be surprised you come back the next day and it leaks all over your thing. And it's something I told everybody all the time. When you get a Smok product, make sure you take this apart. That this isn't cranked down in there so tight that you can't even think about, getting it off without pliers.
Yep. Well, the thing is, right, everybody used to knock Smok's gear, and with a good reason. They were, they went through a spell. They were bringing tank after tank after tank, coil after coil after coil. When you look at them, how they've evolved, they got better and better and better because they listen to people. And look at them now; their stuff's pretty decent.
That's really good.
I was never a fan of the coloured O-rings. Like, I remember I had one that was orange.
Nobody was.
Oh, it looked hideous. Yeah, they were hideous.
But I did like the fact that they had the locking pin on there.
That's right, yeah.
And it just swung open. My question is, why didn't they make this opening opposite of where the pin was to rotate it open?
You
60 ml bottles were a piece of cake, but to use a 120 ml bottle, you had to pull the drip tip off.
That's still kind of relevant today. There's some mods today where it's easier to film if you take the drip top out. You know what I mean? The slidey tops or the latchy tops.
And then it latched. You can't open this without pushing that little button.
Fucking hell, I'm very surprised with this. I'm loving this. It's really good. I've tried a lot of pod kids in my day, and this is probably the best pod kid I've tried up to date. For a mouth alone.
There you go. I just need to wait for this to saturate those wicks. And there's our one from last week. You can see the glass is cracked right there. And there's a dent in it.
Oh my God, no. You've abused it, sir. You've abused it.
But I'm still vaping it every single day. That is fantastic.
Awesome tank, man. Awesome bit of kit.
$60 Walker says, Prince, yeah, that was not the best thing ever. And I totally concur. The TFV 18 was fantastic. It was a cloud chucker and had plenty of flavor.
Oh, yes.
But the 12 wasn't that far off. How about the TFV 16? That was a short-lived thing.
I think what people were getting a bit tired of was the TF range. You know what I mean? They wanted them to bring out a new range because obviously you could see they milked it, didn't it? I mean, it started, what, TF 8 or more or less?
Yeah, the TFV 8, which is now being sold as the TFV 9. TFV 9 coils are exactly like the TFV 8, except they changed the mesh and the wicking inside. But the actual dimensions for the coil itself are interchangeable with the old TFV 8s. So if you need TFV 8 coils, you can always get the TFV 9s. And the mesh that's in them, the flavor's really good on them. The question is, sometimes you're going to get one and it'll just sit on your desk and it'll piss itself out. I've literally had them. 2 open the same day. 1 still hasn't leaked. The other one, I came in one day and all puked its guts out all over the mod table.
Yeah. That was the thing. They were very unreliable. You got a lot of dud coils and not so good coils, shall we say.
Ian Thomas is here. I missed him coming in. Then again, I got a whole slew of receipts here.
Oh, there you go.
Ian Thomas, Michael Redfern, Free Ride Vapor, and A Bastard. It's wonderful to have all Ians here.
Who are you calling a bastard?
The Pave Mom.
Cheers, my friend. Cheers. Anyway, happy Halloween, everybody out there. Whichever way you celebrate it.
You know what makes Halloween great? The fact you have to go buy all this candy for the kids to show up, and you always have candy left over. There was only 1 year we ran out of candy. Had to shut the light off early.
It's starting to... It was very popular in my day, trick-or-treating. You got loads of kids out now. Now, there's not so much many people out trick-or-treating. But I think a lot of people are starting to like, a bit like Christmas when you deck the halls. You've got all the shit going on in your house. There's a lot of people doing that now with Halloween stuff. They're rather like they're decking the halls with Halloween stuff rather than the old trick-or-treating stuff. You know what I mean? But again, I think it's just the age we're living in. There's no trust anymore. You know what I mean? It's just...
Nope.
It's sad.
I know parents that will take their kids out trick-or-treating and they'll come home with a bag of candy that goes in the bin, and each kid gets a bag of candy from mom that mom bought from the store and opened herself. They won't even check the stuff. They'll just bin it and hand them a new bag of stuff.
I mean, when we were kids, we were right into the kids. I mean, it was the days when you used to have like street parties, not where everybody opened their door to everybody. You know, you have to have the The apple dunking, you dunk the apples in the barrel and you had to get it out of your teeth, what all that. Toffee apples. We don't even see many toffee apples now. They're all chocolate covered apples. I don't want a chocolate covered apple. I want a toffee apple. That's what they were. You know what I mean?
Mate, when we were going trick-or-treating, it was a very common thing for people to have popcorn balls that were homemade, and that's what the treat was that was given to the kids coming around the block. Caramel apples to be handed out as the Halloween thing that they made inside the house themselves. It wasn't bagged candy that was perfectly sealed. Cookies.
Yeah.
They would give you little Ziploc bags of cookies. Nowadays, forget it. Nobody trusts anybody.
Yeah. I can remember my mum making toffee apples. She used to go do the shopping. She used to get the little wooden skewers to stick the apples on. She used to heat the caramel up in the pan. She used to dip them herself, put them on greaseproof paper, let them set in the fridge. Brilliant. Love them. Never see them now. Never.
No, they used to sell a box like Easter. They sell you the box to color the eggs and stuff. Well, in the fall, they would have boxes that would have the sticks and the caramel in it, and they would be placed right by the apples. So you could buy the apples, buy the box, the kit, and go home and make your own caramel apples. And candy apples.
Yeah. Didn't see none of it.
Well, getting back to my other thing, I told you last week, I found them. I wish the colors were better. I picked this up cheap on Amazon. But I love the fact it's got the cutouts. So like when you put it onto a tank, you can still see the fluid level.
Well, scraping the barrel and turning the show into a slightly adult nature, you must be a blessed man if you can get all three of them on. That's all I'm going to say. That's what I want to say on that topic.
Well, wife seems quite happy.
Yeah.
She left the house this morning with a smile.
Well, that's mine. When somebody says, "Show me your sex organ," I go, anyway.
Listen, what you can't make up for in size, you have to use your tongue.
Exactly. Who said, I don't believe that the size doesn't matter. Bollocks.
Okay, so it doesn't look the best.
All I
But
can
it
say,
works.
though, it's got some girth. It's got some girth, though. That's all I'm going to say.
Many people say that matters more than length.
Yeah. We are starting to lower the tone here.
Yeah, well, it's Halloween. You can pretend to be a psychopath and go out on the streets and people accept you just as like they would Prince Charming.
So true, so true. It is so true. I think the world's so narcissistic and so vain. That's my kind of outlook on it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is so good. I'm very impressed with that. I'm pleasantly surprised. I've never been a pod fan, but I'm blown away by that. Wow.
Listen, the coils and the mesh material that they're using nowadays, even in the smallest of pods, are so fantastic, and they've got the balance of the airflow to the heating necessary for that particular coil to give you perfect flavor, regardless of what mouth-to-lung, direct-to-lung device you have.
This thing is probably can outdo some of the tanks I have.
Yeah.
This thing, honestly, it's phenomenal. They're tried and tested. I mean, you've got like the PNP coils, you've got the Nautilus coils. These are the GTX coils, which again tried and tested, aren't they? They've been out and about and they've been proven. But by God, that's so good. I'm glad I got the 0.15s. Like the ones here and the 0.4s were awful.
William, I didn't realize that Clive Bates wrote this article.
Oh, what's he done? Like?
I should have jumped at this earlier. The bullshit asymmetry principle. The idea that e-cigarette flavors hook kids is simple, compelling, and completely false. In a fact sheet titled Flavored E-Cigarettes Hook Kids, the U.S.-based Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids asserts that flavored e-cigarettes are undermining the nation's overall efforts to reduce youth tobacco use and putting a new generation of kids at risk of nicotine addiction and the serious health harms that will result from tobacco use. Let us call this the activist proposition. The challenge with simple but false activist propositions is that refuting them can require a lengthy embrace of more complex arguments. Brandolini's law, also known as the bullshit asymmetry principle, can be expressed as the amount of energy needed to refute bullshit is an order of magnitude larger than to produce it. In this article, we shall demonstrate Brandolini's law by addressing the simple but false activist proposition about flavored e-cigarettes through a series of questions. First, do flavors cause youth tobacco or nicotine use? No! We didn't have flavors when we started smoking cigarettes. Neither did our forefathers. Second, what does cause youth tobacco or nicotine use? The most evidence points to characteristics of the individual and their circumstances, not tobacco product features, advertising, marketing, or availability in the local store. At-risk youth are, by definition, at-risk youth. And if you prevent them from getting the least harmful product probably on the planet, they're going to resort to more harmful substances. Third, what would teenage vapors do if they were not vaping? Once again,
smoking.
Exactly. Fourth, how would you ban flavors and make that work? Well, you just ban it. Did it work? No. So now what are you going to do? Fifth, what is really going on with youth vaping? Well, knowing Clive Bates and a lot of the stuff that I've read of his, he's going to tell you exactly kind of like what I tell you. First off, it's diverting an entire generation from a lifetime habit of smoking and burning combustible tobacco. And you're improving their health outcome because they're doing this. I really do like this. And it's common sense.
The only thing I'm not, well, I'm kind of in disagreement with is like people, even teenagers, who take up vaping when they haven't smoked. So I disagree with that. Why would you do that if you've never smoked? It's just,
why are you going to make them smoke?
I don't agree with that.
Which has proven harm in orders of magnitude more than vaping will ever give them. Why do you want them to smoke before they're allowed to use vaping? That's why I look at it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like the other side of the argument, like you said, is, well, why would they start smoking? You know what I mean? It's
that would be like, here's my example, and I'm pretty shitty according to my wife and my kids about giving, examples to compare things to. All right? But that would be like having a child whose mom and dad and grandma and grandpa are all alcoholics. You're banned from going to AA meetings until you actually become an alcoholic. And you're not actually termed an alcoholic until you're of legal age to be able to buy the alcohol to become an alcoholic. Even though we know that kids in that particular situation where mom, dad, grandma, and grandpa are all alcoholics, some people say that there's in your DNA, a propensity to become an alcoholic because of the way your body metabolizes alcohol is different than other people. But regardless, statistics show that people that have parental alcoholism are more likely to become an alcoholic. And they're more likely to start at an age of 8, 10, 12, whenever they can steal mom and daddy's alcohol supply, which they obviously have plenty of if they're an alcoholic. So why are you going to wait until they are 18 or 21, or in some countries in Europe, 16, before they're allowed legally to purchase alcohol and become an alcoholic to attend an AA meeting?
You're right what you say, because I mean, I don't know, like when it comes to drugs, I don't know if you've ever heard the term children are born drug addicts. It's because when the lady who was pregnant, she was still taking the drugs, them drugs were going to the unborn child, and they come out addicted to a drug. And it's the same with alcohol. If that person was still drinking lots of alcohol due to pregnancy, that's going to that child. You know what I mean?
And it's already making the changes metabolically in that child's body before they're even born.
That's it. Exactly.
So you shouldn't ban them from going to AA meetings until they are of legal age to purchase alcohol.
No, God, no. I think help should be there whatever age you are, whether you're young, old, whatever.
And that's why I think the teenagers that are at-risk youth who choose to vape, regardless of what the laws are, should have the appropriate counseling and parental consent, and then let them, on a fixed amount, consume that product. We know the beneficial effects of nicotine. They're well documented, have been for decades.
Well, you know yourself. You tell your child not to do something, as soon as they walk out that door, they're going to fucking do it, aren't they?
I'll tell you some science that hasn't been done because we have such a displeasure for the underage use of nicotine products, right? How many kids are taking Adderall for ADHD? And what if they were allowed to vape? How many of them would still need an Adderall to deal with their ADHD? How many of them would be sufficiently adjusted if they consumed a vape 3 times, 4 times a day at school? Would they need to take that Adderall every single day?
Well, that's where you fall into the pharmaceutical hands, aren't you? They want you to take their medication, so that's where you fall into their trap, aren't you, really, when you think about it?
Right, and then your competition is a product that nobody can patent because nicotine is a chemical found in tomatoes and potatoes and all kinds of, vegetables that we're supposed to consume on a regular basis. Naturally occurring substance.
An ingredient. Yeah, it's a natural ingredient. It's not man-made.
Yeah.
It's not man-made. Man has altered it, but they haven't made it. It's a natural substance.
They just purified it. And technically now, they have synthetic forms of it. They can manufacture it without actually having nicotine to start with.
Yeah.
But if you actually study nicotine itself and the nicotinoid receptors in your body and how your body metabolizes it and uses nicotine and what are the side effects of nicotine consumption, there are so many beneficial effects to it that a lot of people are self-medicating themselves when they pick up a cigarette and don't realize it until they get the euphoric effects of it that are far beyond what nicotine is supposed to do to you.
Yeah.
And everybody's genetically different. So some people, it's not going to faze them. Like alcohol with me. Alcohol doesn't faze me. I can have a drink today. I could drink like a fish over the weekends like I did when I was DJing. It doesn't faze me. I don't want alcohol. But there's people like my wife and her brother and their family who for generations have had alcoholism in the family. When they drink, their body metabolizes alcohol differently than mine. There are some times that they can sit there and drink like a fish and be completely coherent and don't even feel the alcohol. And then there's other times they can have one drink and be a sloppy drunk.
I know a few people like that, definitely. They can drink and drink and drink and still walk home in a straight line. Then the next day you see them have a drink and they're falling an hour. Like, how does that work? I'm not too fussed. I mean, I'll admit I can be a binge drinker, but that's once in a blue moon. I'm not, you know, I take it or leave it, basically. You know, I enjoy a drink like any other person, a social gathering. I enjoy a social drink like anybody else, but it's not the end all. You know, I wouldn't, you know, I'd be going up the wall if I didn't have a drink. I can just take it or leave it. You know what I mean? It doesn't bother us. But on the other hand, vaping, if I didn't have my nick hit, through the roof.
Yep.
Weird, man.
Nicotine and caffeine are the only drugs my body seeks regularly, consistently.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that as soon as I was exposed to it. From my first cup of coffee to my first cigarette, I knew that I was going to want that the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Now, being a DJ for decades in clubs and whatnot, I've tried a bunch of other stuff, and it doesn't faze me. I don't react to it like other people do.
But then again, it's your lifestyle as well. Like you said, you just hit the nail on the head. When you were DJing, you know, you were in a
constant environment where I was constantly exposed to it.
Yeah. There's that kind of environment as well, isn't it?
And it wasn't just normalized. You were expected to partake.
Yeah. It's just like you said there, your example, alcoholic family, alcoholic child, where they think drinking alcohol to whatever excess is normal because they're brought up with it. So they think, well, it's just a norm. When technically it isn't really, you know what I mean? So,
and someday some scientist is going to figure out exactly why some people have a higher propensity for alcoholism. Some people have a higher propensity for nicotine use and consumption, lifelong consumption of it, or for caffeine or cocaine or any of these other drugs that are out there. Cannabis?
That was the argument. Cannabis, that was the argument for that. I mean, cannabis does have some medical benefits, which has been proven, but it's also got some negative benefits, I suppose, you know, but it depends on the individual, how they react to it at the end of the day, isn't it?
And the dose. Dose matters, always. Aspirin's a perfect example of dose matters, right? If you take an aspirin for a headache, you take 325 milligrams of aspirin. And it has a certain effect on your body where it helps you alleviate your headache, right? Your pain and suffering. But it's also beneficial at low doses and reacts differently in your body. At low doses, aspirin actually poisons the platelets in your blood, making your blood thinner, for a simplistic term of it. It thins your blood, doesn't actually thin it. It makes the things that normally stick and cause clots in your blood to be less sticky. So therefore, they are able to pass through places where they would normally clot up. And that's why they give it to you in a heart attack.
Yeah, I'm supposed to say they give you that for a heart attack, aspirin to allegedly thin your blood, isn't it?
Morphine does the same thing. Morphine has different reactions in a person's body depending on the dosage that you give them. If you take and you give somebody morphine really, really fast so that it spikes in their blood, they'll literally pass out and quit breathing. But if you give it to them nice and slow like you're supposed to, you will alleviate pain. And there will be no or hardly any cardiovascular effects from it.
So how does adrenaline work? 'Cause you always see people pumping adrenaline and people, especially during heart attacks. Is that
adrenaline is epinephrine, and that's used and it's actually part of your metabolism in your body. It's the normal flight or fight reaction that your body has when you get scared shitless. You know, you're fighting for your life. You got to run because somebody's attacking you or you're in imminent danger. Your body naturally makes adrenaline on its own as part of that fight or flight reaction. And when you are giving somebody adrenaline medicinally, you are trying to use the effects of that fight or flight response in the body and the natural metabolism that takes place and reactions in your circulatory system and stuff like that to benefit the situation to make the medical circumstance better. Fight or flight reaction, your blood vessels constrict in your peripheral arteries and your vascular system, and it's all shunted and it's all kept in the core of your body. Well, that's what you want to protect the most. That's what your body naturally tries to protect the most, is your core, your torso. That's where all your vital organs are kept.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I felt like on the other side, I've kind of heard like when you kind of, I don't know, so you're bleeding out, you've got a big wound where you're bleeding to death, but your brain starts shutting down organs to try and keep the blood supply to the brain. If you know what I mean? It's a weird scenario because technically
first thing it shuts off is your arms and your legs. It tries to clamp down on the peripheral vascular system. There's metabolic changes that take place that cause your vascular system and your peripheral arteries to tighten up and reduce the blood flow there so that you have more blood flow for your core. And then you have your smooth muscle blood flow is regulated by a different metabolic structure and different hormones that trigger those. And then ultimately it tries to protect your brain the most.
Yeah. Well,
and you see that people at the end of life and in severe traumatic situations where you can legit see different steps of them shunting blood flow to protect the brain.
Well, it's cancer sufferers, don't it? The organs start shutting down first, don't they? You know, like when they're dying of that, you know, this shuts down, that shuts down, that shuts down, and eventually, obviously, they pass away. I've seen that with my own eyes. So yeah, it's a weird thing. But the brain, it's just tries to protect itself at all costs, though, doesn't it? Even though it can't function with everything else, but it says, nope, I'm fucking looking after me.
Yep. I come first. I could lose an arm and it doesn't faze me. I could lose legs and it doesn't faze me. As long as I have a torso where my lungs can function, my heart can pump, and
that's it, yeah. Fucking unbelievable, isn't it? Weird thing to human. It's a fascinating but weird thing.
It is. If I didn't have kids, I would have got into medicine. I would have been a doctor.
I'll tell you what happened yesterday. I witnessed a bad accident yesterday. Really bad accident. My God. I was at one of the Amazon lockers in a petrol station. Built the Amazon locker, and it's on a busy main road. And this trucker, he was a foreign trucker. He decided to stop his wagon in a main lane for the traffic, like the outside lane. And I think he was wanting to come to the garage to ask for directions, and he had this little doggy with him. Well, I think because he was outside, a car kind of got pissed off and undercut him, and it hit him. This car hit him. Fuck me. You heard a bang. And I heard the bang, and I heard like people going, oh, and I just looked, and honestly, I just seen this guy flying through the fucking air. Must have went 20 feet, easy. And he landed like at the exit of the fucking garage. So I kind of like done what I done. I pulled the van round. When I pulled the van round, normally the vans have got first aid kits in, so I was looking for a first aid kit, but obviously some fucker pinched the cunt. But he had a head in his head was open here. You could see the white of his skull. His head was wide open here, and his obviously his leg was broke at the knee because it was pointing in a horrible direction. But he was sitting up, he was awake, no screams, no yelps, anything like that. And there was like a bloke standing just looking at him. You couldn't see his face with blood, so he was obviously fucking bleeding very heavily. And I'm thinking, mate, you need to stick something on his fucking head here to stop him bloody bleeding to death. You know, they were just looking at him, they didn't know what to do with him. But, you know, Christ, I just for like, wow. It was terrible, honestly. Naughty thing to say, like, but it was just the fact of him flying through the air. I went, Jesus Christ, what's hit him? But yeah, as far as I know, like, I don't know what happened to him, but he had a little white dog, and the dog scarpered because obviously the dog shit its arse and pissed off. So when he was getting seen, they were trying to find this bloody dog. You know what I mean? It was crazy, but yeah, wow, man, unbelievable. Just something you just don't see every day. When you do, it's like, woo.
Yeah, it can be very scary.
But the fact that everybody was just sitting looking at him, that can kind of understand it because people are probably standing thinking, shit, what do I do? And I said, you need to put pressure on that head because he was bleeding out. You couldn't see his face. He was bleeding badly. So you need to put something over that. And obviously they ran in, put a pressure thing on, and I ended up looking for a fucking dog.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was three ambulances turned up. 2 were paramedics, 1 was a normal ambulance. 3 of them turned up and 7 police cars turned up. Oh, yeah, a bit overkill, but you know, but he was a foreign driver, you could tell. He just didn't know where he was. Poor bugger. I hope he's okay. Looked like broken leg, laceration to the head. Whether he fractured his skull or not, I don't know. I'm the expert, but it didn't look good.
Well, even if he doesn't fracture a skull, the brain can have a traumatic injury where you have it's called the coup contra coup effect, because your brain is literally floating inside of your skull. Cerebral spinal fluid surrounds it. And when simple physics teaches you, if your head hits something, your brain is also moving. And the front of your brain will actually impact the inside of your skull and cause swelling there. And then you also have the back of your brain that gets injured whenever, the fluid tries to equalize itself out. So you literally have front and back of your brain actually get injured.
I mean, touch wood, I hope the guy was all right. Fucking hell. It was just like, wow. Just something you just don't expect, you know what I mean? It was just the noise, bang. I went, what the hell, what was that? Whee!
Man, I could tell you so many different stories from running the ambulance over the years.
Oh. When you
to be honest with you, running the ambulance is actually 96 to 98% sheer boredom, filled with 2 to 4% sheer terror.
Yeah, well imagine it. I was just surprised the amount of people that were just standing looking. I'd help the guy for fuck's sake, you know what I mean? He was actually trying to get up with a broken leg. He was actually trying to stand up. I'm thinking, that guy needs to sit still. He doesn't want to move. It's fucking blood fucking pumping over his fucking head. Put a fucking
there's a term here in the States. It's called rubbernecking.
Yeah.
Anytime there's an accident, you're going to have people that are going to rubberneck it going, wow, did you see that over there? They wreck into somebody in front of them because they weren't paying attention to where they were going and more worried about what happened on the side of the road that they were trying to drive by.
Yeah, but like I said, fucking hell, it was a bit of an eye-opener. Like, bloody hell.
And the sad reality is most people, even if there's no ambulances or police cars there, they'll just keep driving. They'll rubberneck and then they'll go about their business.
I'm just surprised the amount of people that don't know basic first aid. The people standing beside him, looking at him, like, this guy needs help. Don't look at him. Fuck off. If you're not going to help him, fuck off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just weird. Simple first aid. I mean,
I've been surprised by how many people actually do stop to try and render first aid, even when they have no training whatsoever. Something intrinsically kicks in on certain people that they have to try and do as much as they can to help the situation.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the people they don't give a fuck. They just, oh, that was exciting. Let's keep going.
There was one guy come up there. Lie him down in the recovery position. I says, no, you don't fucking move him. His leg's pointing the wrong fucking way. You move him, you could fucking fuck the rest of his leg. We'd lose his leg, you know what I mean? If you twist it the wrong way or something like that, you could rupture an artery or a vein. Just leave him where he is. Just support him, support his neck, support him, leave him. Let the fucking professionals deal with it. Well, recovery, fucking recovery. Don't be putting, you don't move him. Just keep him still. Hold his head. Hold this, hold that. No, just tap the wall.
First thing, you got to protect the cervical spine. You don't want them to, if they have an injury of their spine and you move them, you can paralyze them. And that will permanently alter their person's life for the rest of their existence.
Without a doubt.
You can literally turn them into a vegetable. And then it's simple ABC: airway, breathing, and circulation. It's that simple.
I must confess, the first thing the paramedics do was a collar around his neck. That was the first thing they literally put on. Stabilize his neck.
Stabilize the neck, because if you ask somebody a question, they're naturally going to try and turn their head to answer your question.
Yeah.
And you want their neck to be stabilized.
Yeah. clever stuff, like.
I thought it was
something
pretty
I
interesting.
couldn't
Going
do.
back to anatomy and physiology is what nerves going down your spine actually affect what parts of your body?
It's all in the spinal cord, I suppose, isn't it? That's
Exactly.
that actual
It's
piece
all in your
got
spinal
everything
cord
in.
and the way the nerves run and at what level. Like, you know, you can fracture your base of your neck and be fine. But if you fracture the wrong nerve when you break your actual joint for your bone, you can make somebody quadriplegic. But you go one level lower than that, and it's a completely different outcome.
Yeah, a friend of mine actually broke his neck, but he never damaged his spinal cord. Everybody thought, oh, he's broke his neck, that's it, he's knackered. I says, well, that's not necessarily the case. He might have broke, a vertebrae might have fucking jumped out or cracked or whatever, but as long as it hasn't damaged his spinal cord, it'll be fine.
Yep. And there have been people that have been paralyzed temporarily because they didn't actually tear the spinal cord. They just caused injury, and your body naturally, when you hurt something, swells up to stiffen it up to keep it from further injuring itself. And that swelling, when it subsided, they had full mobility and function again.
That's weird, but
Lucky. Some people are lucky, and some people are unlucky.
That's it. Wonderful thing, the human body. Mythical and magical.
William Dobson's talking about he's got a new juice.
Oh,
he has to
tell
make
me more,
more of
man.
it.
Tell me more.
Got a
Tell
recipe
me
for
more,
this we can
William.
take a look at.
Yeah.
Banana bread pudding. Would have never thought of it. It's amazing how many flavors I would have never been interested in or never wanted to try that I've come across doing random recipe mixing and single flavor testing, that all of a sudden it's like, I can't believe I never really liked this before.
Well, here's one for you tonight. See if you can find a recipe for butter cookie, because if I can replicate that, I will make it. There you go. Butter cookie. What's a good butter cookie recipe, would you say?
Well, let's find something,
There's a
see what we can
challenge.
come up with today.
I've threw the gauntlet down.
All right, boys and girls, we are looking for a butter cookie today. I already went to my flavor stash and asked Sherlock Holmes, what can I make? And this is a list of what I can make, 8,551 recipes. Let's see if any of them meet the requirements of a butter cookie. PB rhubarb cookies. We mix that up. Advocate for Liberty came up with that recipe. That was a fantastic recipe. I truly enjoyed that. It's a treat for me here in the States having a rhubarb cookie. Most people in the States don't even know what a rhubarb cookie would taste like. Mama Bear Delight. That one isn't quite a sugar cookie. It does have cookie ingredients in it. Strawberry cookies. Ma Butt. Interesting. Ma Butt is Inawera biscuit at 0.3%, buttercream from Capella at 0.7%, sugar cookie at 6%, sweet cream at 1%, and 0.5% of TFA sweet cream.
I like the name, My Butt.
Okay, I'm gonna make you my butt.
Okay, no. Okay. Yeah, that's probably something we can get the guys out there involved with. You know, they put the hand checks in. Why don't they put some, you know, recipe suggestions in? You know, see if we can rattle it up.
You know, wear a biscuit, Capella buttercream, Capella sugar cookie.
I think that would be a cool idea. Within reason, obviously.
Super sweet and sweet cream, TPA.
Wow. It sounds nice.
Sounds very simple. Sugar cookie heavy.
It does look very simple considering.
I'm curious how much this buttercream is actually going to affect it. Maybe that's the only thing that would be missing from this to make it like your cookie that you have.
You know, obviously the biscuits where that's the cookie in it.
All right, 30 mil today. Have to get the scale out. That dog is going nuts downstairs.
So I'm sitting here, little doggy barking there. Bless it.
Did you ever watch Dukes of Hazzard?
Oh, of course. Big fan. Just for the car, mind.
You remember Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane's Flash?
Oh, of course we were. Sheriff and Flash's dog. Oh, that was gorgeous. It was a bloodhound.
Yeah, this dog is like a combination of Flash and our Lucy, who's like a beagle black lab mix.
Oh.
You put the two of them together, that's what this Maggie is like. Okay.
Roscoe PKPT. I used to love that. Do you not think, right? Well, I don't know which one you would say was a spin-off of the other. But was it not oh fuck, it's gonna be fucking head now, the name. Fuck's sake. What the hell's the name of that film again? For God's sake, man. Burt Reynolds.
Why are you scared of the dog downstairs?
Oh yeah, what's the film? Burt Reynolds with a Trans Am.
Smokey and the Bandit.
God, Smokey and the Bandit. Nothing. They're kind of a spin-off of each other. Like the Dukes of Hazzard a spin-off of that, or that film's a spin-off of that. Same type of thing, innit? You've got that character policeman who's trying to nick the. You know what I mean?
Oh, I get where you're coming from in that perspective, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, like
you've got a sheriff that is bound and determined to get this guy.
Yeah.
And is convinced that they're doing something wrong. So they're always chasing after him.
That's right. They're kind of a similar scenario, aren't they? You had the one chasing him. What was the fucking sheriff called in that film again?
It was Jackie. No, it wasn't Jackie Gleason. Who played him?
I don't know what was the character called, because every time he was going out of jurisdiction, he was going, "This is Sheriff blah blah blah, and this is my man." Just crazy.
Yeah.
Brilliant film. Brilliant film.
0.09.
I'll tell you one of the best films I like. Burt Reynolds. I wasn't really a big fan of him, but he was fantastic in Deliverance. I thought that was a fantastic film in its day.
Fuck. This smells so good. But I don't think I will ever use this whole thing up because of how strong an Aware biscuit is.
Really potent, is it?
Holy cow, is it potent. 0.09 is all of this required for this recipe. 3 drops.
What's the recipe got like? How much is in the recipe like? Is that actually in the recipe? Is it 0.09?
0.3% is what it called for.
0.3.
Buttercream is going in at 0.7. This is like buttercream frosting.
That's going to be nice.
0.21 is what I'm going for.
Whew. Dusty Country Road is vaping strawberry ice cream V3. It's nice on the Arbiter 2. Ooh. Very nice.
All right, I'm going to need to go downstairs and get this dog. I don't know what she's scratching up or
Yeah, go and pop your head in,
scraping.
see how she's doing.
0.15. And all we got left is super
Be right back. he's gonna kick that dog, folks. He's gonna give it a kick in the arse for being a pain in the arse. I love him, man. Can't beat it. It's a new dog, new home. Didn't it take some time to settle down? Anyway, what we got? William Dobson topside dual with a nitrous RDA. Very nice. Strawberries. I think I say, guys and girls, I'm on this Lux. It's the Max, the XR Max, and I'm very pleasantly surprised because I've not really been a fan of pod kits, but this thing, like I said, it's only on, say, 60 watts, and it's a cloud chucker and a flavour chaser as well. Beautiful. The only gripe with it is it's bloody heavy. God, it weighs a ton. It's very heavy for what it is. It's got a 2,800 milliamp battery. I can't. It's just my eyesight's absolutely shit, folks. 10.3. That's WH. I can't see properly, but. Wow. But what it is, bye. Absolutely fantastic. Why is that not working now? Go for that. For some reason, my YouTube decided to freeze. What on earth is going on? What is it going on, folks? Yeah, guys, I think that's a good idea. You know, like, got your hand checks going in. What about some recipe suggestions? Now, make Alex do some work. Get him thinking. Put some, flavors, whatever you want. Get some suggestions.
Holy moly!
Yeah, I was just talking to the guys in chat. How they put the hand checks in. Maybe put some recipe suggestions in. See if we can come up with something that they would enjoy or try making.
Yeah, if you've got a good recipe, drop it in chat. I'll order the ingredients for it.
Yeah,
give them my review on it.
Even something you fancy that if you want a plum pie or something, we'll see if we can get something that'll make you a plum pie. Let's make this guy work for a living, eh? So how's the weather in your part of the world, mate? We haven't done a weather for a while. What's it like? Are you warm, cold, wet, windy, whatever?
We went and moved the camper, and it poured down rain all weekend. And I'm like, So we're like, you know what? We're not even going to set it up properly. We're not going to jack up the corners or anything. We towed it to the new campground, and we took it off the truck. Then we had to go back and get the grills, Barbies.
Oh God, yeah. Oh,
threw them in the back of the truck, brought it back, set it up, threw the covers on them, and my wife and I agreed, you know what? We'll make a special trip up next time she gets a day off. Or worst case scenario, if we're in for a cold spell, I'll drive up. Well, guess what it looks like I'm going to have to do this week? Because she's working a 10-day stretch.
Oh.
They had frost warning, freeze warning last night. And from the looks of it, the weather's supposed to be freezing by next weekend. Like, might actually get some snow up north.
Oh, really? Wow.
So I'm going to have to take a drive up there and, you know, throw the cinder block down, because that's the one thing. The old campground, we had wood that we cut, 6-inch thick, you know, slabs of log. We put down, that was what was holding the jack up. Well, needless to say, by now, after being there for 3 years, they were starting to rot. So I need to actually go get some proper cinder blocks to put underneath the jacks. So
Keep
that
it nice and sturdy.
Yes.
Well, we've had nothing but fucking rain for the past couple of weeks, because we've had one storm that came through, and now we're expecting another storm, and I think they're calling this storm Kieran, which is on round about the Wednesday. 50, 60 mile an hour gusts of winds, 80, 90 miles an hour, 80, 90 mile an hour gust winds offshore, which I think is going to hit the English Channel first. So, you know, we've already been flooded out, so obviously our ground's still saturated, and yet we've got another storm coming. It's just rain, rain, and more rain. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I don't know if I've still got this on. I wonder if I've got this on. I wonder if I can show you. Let's have a look. I don't know if I've still got it on. I might not have. I'll put this up on my fucking camera and just see if you can see. This was the last storm we had. Just see if you can see that. That was the last rain we had. It was just absolutely rivers. It was mad.
Wow.
That was the last sea. That was when I was at work. You know what I mean? That was bad. And then what I did, because I'm a child, I'm a big child at heart, right? So you're gonna
played in the rain.
Oh, I played in the rain, all right. Hang on. I'll just pause it there. I'll get it full screen. Are you ready for this one? I'm in my van. There's a puddle. Whee! The thing is, when that water come above the bonnet, I shit myself. I thought, shit, it's going to storm. But luckily, I got through. But yeah, that was the last time, because our sewage system, shit, it's so out of date. It just can't deal with heavy rains. It just can't deal. Everything's flooded. Everything floods all the time now. We get a big rainstorm. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. So yeah, we're pretty shit at the minute with the rain. Seems to be all we're getting.
Yeah, it got cold. Matter of fact, I had to actually turn the furnace on this morning.
Oh, we've had our heating on. It's chilly on a night. I mean, we're still hitting like 10, 12 degrees, maybe 14 tops. So it's not like freezing yet, but it's still chilly. But we're like in an old style Victorian townhouse, so it's big, old and drafty. So
yeah, I see the crown molding in your house and how tall the ceilings are.
Yeah. Yeah, so unfortunately, like, we need to put a bit of heating on now and then. That looks nice.
There's my butt.
Really golden colour, that. Your butt is fantastic colour.
It's going to take a while for this to come out full flavor-wise.
Yeah.
Between the buttercream and the biscuit and the sugar cookie. Yeah. However,
you know what it is?
Our Valerian with the white chocolate peppermint should be ready. Start at 60 watts
you know what it
to
is,
try.
Right?
What?
I woke up this morning with 2 rosy red cheeks on my face. How my wife got her backside on that pillar, I'll never know. A sneaky dad joke.
Damn.
So, what's your verdict on that one? Is
the fucking juice is fantastic. White chocolate peppermint. So simple.
Hope you've got another little ticket going there. The little man's got
And
the ticket in. Who's popped in the chat?
Steve Lane. Hello and welcome.
Welcome, sir.
And as is typical for this TFV12, you got to close the airway down good about halfway to really concentrate that flavor in.
Yeah. Yeah, otherwise you just breathe through it. So if it tastes good in a smoke, what's it going to taste like?
Primo flavor.
That's what I'm saying. If it tastes good in a smoke, what's it going to taste like in a more up-to-date device? Like your arbiter.
And with white chocolate peppermint, I mean, that's a flavor you can taste in any tank. I don't care how garbage it is. You will taste white chocolate peppermint.
So, what's the balance between the chocolate and the peppermint? Is there more peppermint or
50-50?
Because to me, if there was too much peppermint, I wouldn't agree with it. It would probably give us heartburn.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I've never had that issue. Peppermint's always been, a fancy of mine, especially around the holidays. I used to buy, a bag of Starlight mints, and that one little bag would last me all holiday season. But that would be a treat for me every day to have one of them mints.
Don't get us wrong to eat it, but it's to vape it. It's like me vaping menthol. If I vape menthol, I get chronic heartburn off it. So I'm in a mint in general, I get, if it's too strong a mint or too strong a mint, I get chronic heartburn off it. So I was just wondering if the peppermint was like too strong or it was a nice. If it's a nice balance, then that would be absolutely awesome. But some people like that. I mean, see, so subjective, isn't it?
I'm curious to see how this mod says that it's at 0.42 ohms for this coil. It's 0.4.
It's not far away.
Definitely within the tolerances for smoke. I've had their stuff that's been way off.
If it's been reading like 0.5 or something, then wow, there's something not right. But 0.42, it's not far away.
For round wire coils, this is fantastic. I never thought I'd say that about smoke. I mean, the TFV18, okay. And the mag that I got, the P3, fantastic, loved it. But for a Prince, a TFV12?
Holy fuck. I've only had this 2 days, right?
You burn a coil.
Guess what the puff counter's reading? No. Guess what the puff counter's reading?
How much have you been choking on that?
It. And I did reset it when I got it, because I reset the whole thing. Like when I get a new device, I reset everything and I tune it into mine. I'm on 999 puffs in 2 fucking days.
Holy cow! Chain vaping.
Because if I get like you say that optimum vape, and it doesn't matter what device, it could be a fucking big fuck off tank, it could be if I get optimum vape, I hit it hard because I love it. You know what I mean? Normally just get that And you just know it's a good vape, and you know you're not going to get a dry hit. You know it's not going to taste shit, and you just hit it and hit it and hit it. That's fucking 1,000 puffs in 2 days. Christ Almighty, that's not good.
William Dobson said he made 100 mils of juice, and he's a third of the way through it already. Just over a day.
I can well believe that. Yeah, man. It's. I think it's that you know yourself when. For example, your fruit punch, you know when you made that good juice, you're just going to fucking hit it.
Oh, I just went to town with it originally.
Yeah.
I just loved it that much. And I legit cut the nick back in it to a 3. I was vaping a 3 for the longest time. I'm like, listen, if I'm going to vape it this good because of the flavor, I might as well just cut the nick back. I was still getting more than enough nick.
Well, when you're chaining, obviously, you're just constantly eyeing it in on you. That's what it's been like with this over the last couple of days. I mean, wow. I'm totally impressed with it.
I'm definitely looking forward to Christmas now.
Fan. Oh, what?
This is the earliest that I've had my candy cane.
Really? Oh.
And actually, this is not like the original candy cane that I quit smoking with. The original candy cane I quit smoking with had some chocolate notes to it as well.
Oh, right, yeah.
It wasn't just a candy cane. It wasn't peppermint and, white chocolate. There was some milk chocolate in there.
That would be nice. Just a touch of milk chocolate in that would be really nice.
Yeah.
I can see where you're coming from with that. Like, that would be really, really nice. See, because I like After Eight mints, the dark chocolate with that mint. I eat them for fun. You know what I mean? I'm like
Andy's chocolate
like an
mint.
Escalator. Yeah,
they did the right by sending me that flavor for this review. I still pick this up from time to time.
Do you know, like the escalator stairs? You stand on them to take you up. I'm like that with all the After Eights on, and I'm at the top gun. I eat them till they come out my ears. No problem. I've actually made myself literally sick with the amount I've eaten. I just couldn't stop eating them. I think it was 2 years ago, I sat and ate 2 boxes straight off. And
all by yourself?
All by myself. I'm the only one that likes them, you see, so nobody else wants them. And I was just, ow. And I was sitting there going, oh, God, no.
Yeah, when it comes to mints, I'm the same way. In the house, I'm the only one that likes Starlight mints for the holidays. Which is fantastic because I bought candy canes to hang on the tree since we don't do the salon sucor, the candy, jelly candies and stuff like we did for our Hungarian tradition. So as an alternate, I put candy canes on the tree as decorations. I used to love it because every day I'd grab one off the tree and
yeah,
that would last me the whole day.
I'm trying to find this one. I'm just trying to find the one that I used to eat a lot of. I don't know if you can get it in the US, or there may be a version of the US version of it, but well, there we go. Right, I will share this screen. I used to eat this till it come on my ass. Right, fries, chocolate cream, and fries peppermint cream. Oh my God, it's dark chocolate with obviously that mint. Peppermint, soft center in it. And I used to eat them for fun. Turkish Delight. I hate Turkish Delight with a vengeance. I cannot eat that. It's disgusting. But these were the bars. There was an orange one. There was a peppermint. There was a normal mint one. They were fucking gorgeous. And I used to buy bars and bars of that stuff. Don't know if you can get them in the US, but there you go. Fries, chocolate cream, though. Oh. It was just no good.
Here's what we have in the States. Here's what we have in the States for that. York dark chocolate peppermint patties.
Oh, yes. They look, oh my god. Num 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 num. Dark chocolate with peppermint or mint cream. Yep.
Yes.
Go together hand in hand. Oh my holy lolly. Shit. I would eat them like on my ears. It's just simple as that. I just love it.
I can't
love it.
because of the dark chocolate.
Wow.
I always
no way.
wanted
Jeez.
them to make a milk chocolate version of it. Because dark chocolate gives me the sneezes. My nose starts running.
I don't think it'd be the same with milk chocolate though. You know, there's that bitterness and that sweetness in it. It's a two.
In the
combination
clash.
is just you know what I mean. That's the beauty of it. Milk chocolate. That's not.
I would
really
eat it
work.
around Halloween, especially if I got it included, in the candy we used to get. But I can't.
Milk chocolate, nah. I don't think it would work. Sorry, mate. Do not be dog.
And my allergies weren't bad enough. Like I could eat one and it wouldn't bother me, but if I had a second one, forget it. I would start sneezing. I do that with cats too. That used to suck when I was a paramedic and I'd walk into a house that they had cats. I didn't need to see a cat. I would start sneezing 5 feet in the home.
Really? Wow.
That was something I've always been very, very sensitive to. And something else.
That I can understand. But chocolate, I don't.
Dark chocolate does it for me, but not milk chocolate. You know what else does it for me that triggers my allergies? Sawdust. I used to love working with wood.
I love the smell. I love sawdust.
I did too.
It's gorgeous.
But I couldn't stand it because I would start sneezing and my nose would be running, my eyes would start watering. I would have been a woodworker after a shop class in high school, but my allergies said no.
William Dobson's on the same page as me. I think that was that chocolate I was talking about not so long ago with you. Old Jamaican rum. Dark chocolate with rum. Oh, God, that was so good. Old Jamaican rum was dark chocolate, rum with raisins in it. Oh, tell you what it is. What a combo. Old Jamaican rum. God,
I'm looking.
that was
They
so
don't
good,
even have
chocolate.
that here. They have Jamaican rich chocolate cocoa balls with cinnamon leaves and nutmeg.
Oh, old Jamaican rum. Honestly, it was fantastic. That was a lovely flavour. Dark chocolate with rum and it was like the raisins of sultanas, and it was absolute. My father was the one who introduced me to it because he used to eat that for fun. He would always get a bar of that. Oh, every time he went to the shop, he would say, "Oh, Ganger is an old Jamaican bar of old Jamaican," because he used to change this there. This was the original packaging, right? When we used to buy it, was this guy here? That's what it was. It was like
Cadbury's
the
made
Navy. It was an old Jamaican. Look at about 9p. That's all it was in them days. 9p before decimalization. That's how good. But it had the Navy ship, the sailors with the rum, and that's what it was like. It was gorgeous. But I can remember that like yesterday. That's one of my childhood memories. Dad used to get a bar of that and share it. It was only me and him that liked it because nobody else liked it. But, wow,
Can't get it here in the States.
Beautiful. Oh, it was an amazing chocolate. I don't think they make it now, to be honest. I think you can only get it online if you search for it. I think it's one of them ones that they've just stopped making now, but that was the original one with the big old galleon type ship on the front, and my God. Oh, hell's bells, man. That was out this fucking world, that chocolate was absolutely stunning. Loved
I remember
it.
making those old type of ships when I was a kid growing up building models.
Yeah, the galleon types.
That was such a challenge to put the mast up and then build sails and then run string thread to each of the sails.
But it was like them old ship in a bottle kits, didn't you? You assembled it, you put it in the bottle, and then you had to pull the string to bring the masts up. If you got anything wrong, it just fucked it all up. You couldn't get out the bottle. They were popular on the day, shipping the bottle. Christ, never see them now, do you?
You don't see model building anymore either. I mean, granted, when we were going to school, they had the glue sniffers, and they started banning glues. You had to be 21 to buy the glue, the model glue. Freaking retarded.
Well, it was pretty potent. It was pretty potent, that glue they wanted when you did the models, especially the Airfix kits. I used to love the Airfix. I used to get all the planes, the fighter planes and all that. The Airfix models.
Same here. The Corsair F4. Matter of fact, the biggest model kit I had, we went and visited NASA because we were near the Cleveland airport when I was growing up, and Glenn Air Force Science Center was there. We go there, and in the store inside of the NASA Visitor Center, they sold a big kit of the space shuttle and launch tower, the whole big massive thing. I never did get that assembled finished.
I've only ever done 2 big models, but they weren't aircraft, they were ships. I've done the HMS Ark Royal, which was a famous British battleship, and I've done the Titanic. That was quite challenging because when it was finished, it was 2 feet long. So you imagine there was a lot going into it. I mean, it doesn't look much in our funnels, but there was a lot of intricate little bits you had to make, the little cabins and all that. And that was 2 foot long. And the same with the Ark Royal, you actually had miniature versions of the plane that you had to assemble as well. You know what I mean? Like all the planes on the decks and everything. Because then I think it was the Harrier jump jet. I think that was the era it was in when you had the Harrier jump jet. They were both 2 foot long models. I was over the moon when I finished them, but they just disappeared like everything does, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
the
sad
Titanic
reality.
and the Ark Royal. I seen one for the Cutty Sark, but I just didn't fancy it because it was just too fucking complicated. All the rigging, all the wiring, all the rope, I went bollocks with that. But I used to know a guy who used to make models out of matchsticks. He was a genius. He used to make some fantastic stuff out of matchsticks. Oh, Bourneville brung the... Ooh, did they? I'll have to look into that one. William?
That's what I love to watch. Baba Black Sheep.
Baba Black Sheep. What the fuck?
Robert Conrad, and they were flying Corsairs. It was about the commanding officer, Pappy Boyington. It was based on a true set of circumstances. VMF 214 was a Marine squadron of misfit fighter pilots that flew over the Solomon Islands.
Wow.
And that's what got me to build the Corsair models.
Corsair, another legendary plane, wasn't it, in the US history? It's like the Spitfire here and Spitfire in the UK, you know what I mean? Spitfire, Hawker Hurricane, Lancaster Bomber, legendary aircraft from that day.
Yep, and then after that, it was the F4 Phantom that fought in Vietnam.
And I did do, I forgot to mention that one, I've done the American US Air Force bomber, the Flying Fortress. Remember that badass?
Oh, the Flying Fortress.
The Flying Fortress. I had one of them. That was about a foot long. That was a big model. The good old Flying Fortress with a picture of the little lady on the side. Oh, I can't remember what they call it, but yep, I had all that. The Flying
Memphis
Fortress.
Belle. The plane that dropped the bomb.
That's it, yeah. That's the one, yeah.
I used to love watching the movie for that,
I remember
too.
that. The Flying Fortress, man. Jesus Christ.
And then, after that, it became the SR-71. Supersonic spy plane.
Yeah. I think we went to the Vulcan bomber? That was the big triangular shaped thing. Massive thing. I've seen one of them in real life. Actually, I think it was the last one in the UK to be decommissioned because we used to have an aircraft museum in Sunderland. It was only a small museum, and the Vulcan bomber was there for a long time. They decommissioned it, like they took all the, all the shit out of it, stop it being flown. But then they rebuilt it, they put it back together, and it flew off Sunderland. Only just, mind, because the runway wasn't really that long enough to get it up in the air. But they managed to get it up and they moved it somewhere else down south, where it stands to this day. Vulcan bomber. It was massive. What a big plane. It was huge. Massive thing.
My favorite was coming home from our honeymoon. We broke the trip up rather than driving straight home, being exhausted. We drove the trip up and we stopped at Dayton, Ohio at the Air Force Museum. And during our whole honeymoon, we used to take pictures and leave reviews at every restaurant we went to, the whole 9 yards, right? So I was already in the whole habit of taking pictures of everything we did. We went to the National Air Force Museum in Dayton, Ohio, and I took pictures of all the iconic aircraft that I loved as a child, right? And the peak of that was the SR-71. So I took my pictures and I uploaded it to Google Maps, and my pictures from the Air Force Museum have exceeded 8 million views.
Wow. That's phenomenal.
But these are the things you can go see.
Bad,
and the thing is, because this is a government facility, it's free. Anybody can go there any day of the week and walk around and see these aircrafts and walk through these aircrafts. Old presidential aircrafts like Kennedy's airplane that he flew around in, the Air Force One back in the day, and Eisenhower's Air Force One. They've got all these old aircraft there.
Wow. Interesting stuff, man. UFOs.
Yep, the experimental aircraft that NASA was flying around. Space shuttle.
It makes you wonder how some of these things got off the ground, doesn't it? The size of them. I mean,
the Huey,
huge. Huey helicopter, Jesus. That just reminded us of another one. These are your photos, yeah?
Not these particular ones. I'll have to dig them out.
Wow.
There's 4 buildings to walk through.
I bet because of the size of the aircraft, they must be huge.
Yeah. Then they're all connected. That doesn't include the stuff they have outside. Which isn't much. Most of it's all inside. But they have Kitty Hawk, the original aircraft by the Wright brothers.
Kitty Hawks, Jesus. Wow, man.
Old World War I aircrafts.
Yeah, good old Red Baronet, the German fighter pilot.
Yep. Well, unfortunately, the Poochie downstairs is not happy. She's been kenneled up for the last 4 hours, so...
Doesn't sound happy. Bless. Aw. It'll come, man. It'll take time.
Yeah.
Take a bit of time. Settle in. Once you get a
I think we're going to call it quits for today.
Yeah, you'll have the 3 of them sitting at your feet before long, man.
She's afraid of these 2. I don't understand why. And now my Jester is laying underneath the desk today because she hears the other dog downstairs barking and is now curled up underneath my desk. Like, I don't want no parts of this drama.
Yeah, she's thinking, shite with that. You can keep that up. Not having it.
Yeah, he's an old man. He's called Jealous Jester because he usually gets jealous of when my wife plays with Lucy, because Lucy's her favorite pet, you know, and he gets jealous and he'll bring toys to her and stuff to try and, you know, hey, pay attention to me too, pay attention to me too. And since Maggie got here, they've just kind of kept separate from each other. First off, Lucy tried to be friends with her, But Maggie's too scared of them. Like, seriously?
They've all got their little individual things, haven't they? You know what I mean? At the end of the day.
They definitely have their own personality. There's no question about that.
Oh, without a doubt, man. Like, they're like people, man, when you think about it. You know what I mean? They've got their own shit going on.
They sure do.
That's why we love them so much, matey. That's why we love them so much.
Here's a question for you.
He's got this little stare. What's that, sir?
When I drink wine, I'm constantly running to the loo.
Yep.
Beer, I usually have 3, 4, 5 cans sometimes before I have to break the seal. And as far as other alcohol, I can drink all night long like a fish, and it'll probably be 4 hours before I break the seal.
That doesn't work. I generally pee for fun. It literally goes straight through me. Anything.
My wife's the same way. She can't understand how I can drink so much and not have to run to the bathroom.
I think that's odd.
Except when I drink wine.
It was just
when I drink wine, it goes straight through me.
That's odd, that, because you think wine's more dehydrating than what the other stuff is, I would have thought.
I don't know what it is.
Oh, it gone straight through. I don't know if that's a bonus or what, but it goes through me like a Porsche. I can go out on a night, 2 pints of beer, and I'm there, toilet, straight in, boom. Because everybody used to go and say, hold on, Ken, how come every time it's your round you go at the toilet?
Well, I broke the seal. I mean, you got to go and you got to go.
So I could certainly fill your pint glass up, but it wouldn't be with beer.
Don't feel bad, Don't feel bad, Dusty. We're going to be bailing here soon, too.
Yeah, man.
Nice having you around. We'll catch up with you next week.
As always, Dusty, thank you for popping in.
I wish this chat would keep up.
You know, the doggy chat, yeah. Right, it's a little bit behind the night, isn't it?
Ian Thomas says, I used to live in Bath, UK. When I was a preteen, we would often see Vulcan bombers flying over and creating sonic booms. I was told that they were testing the Concorde engines.
Sonic booms, you could tell, bang, when one of them went out. We're like, Jesus Christ, did not make a noise. Oh, did they not?
Oh, yeah.
I would like to do like the Top Gun film, Vulcan doing a flyby on a ship with a sonic boom. It would probably bring the tower down.
Oh, yeah.
Then maybe your coffee spilling, it would just fuck it. It's amazing. Like, I mean, you know, some of the aircraft were built obviously as war machines, but you know, they're just phenomenal pieces of engineering at the end of the day. You know, how something that big can get off the ground. When you think of all the power that must be hitting through them engines, it's phenomenal, man. Wow.
I think I took those pictures with the Canon camera, to be honest with you. I did take a couple.
Excuse me. Canon.
Yeah. That was before I bought the M50.
Yeah, when I first started, I was a Nikon guy. Used to love the Nikons. Don't know why. For photography, but for videography, they were shit.
Well, I don't know why they make it so hard to find the properties of the images that you have uploaded.
Oh, it's a pain in the butt. I think the best way with that is obviously open like a software for photography, like your Photoshop. Will give you all the metadata of your pictures.
There she is. Here's a couple of them. You want to speak about Memphis Belle? Here's one I took.
Whoa, there it is, man. Jesus Christ. I remember building that very well.
I can't believe the engines on those things are so pristine.
Turret
underneath.
Turret at the bottom. My God, that's right.
The bomber bay.
Yeah. There she is, Memphis Belle. Wow.
These are just some of the ones I took with my phone.
It's just the size, you know, you're like, fuck me. Holy moly. Helicopter. How the hell the hung down in the air? How the fuck have they got them hanging in the air like that? Fucking hell.
They brought a crane in.
Holy
I was in
moly.
my glory, mate.
Oh, I bet.
You know what that is? That's the F4
Is that
Phantom.
the Phantom?
Yeah.
Phantom, yeah. I had that
There's
model
a
as well,
drone.
the Phantom. Phantom jet.
And what they didn't actually have real models of, they had miniature models.
There's the Corsair, wasn't it?
Little Cessna. There's the F4 Phantom.
Phantom.
Growing up, 747 was my favorite aircraft because that's what I used to fly over to Hungary when I was a child.
747. They're big planes and all of them. They're massive.
Yep.
Never ever been on one, but they're rather big. Is that the Blackbird?
Yes, SR-71.
Yeah.
There you go.
Holy shit, man, look at them.
In person. What an experience to be able to actually even touch the wings of that aircraft.
Wow. Unbelievable, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It'd be amazing to fly one of them. Like, imagine just sitting flying something like that, man. The buzz you'd get with it'd be awesome.
The F-15 Eagle goes supersonic in that thing.
Yeah.
Sikorsky. Russian helicopters.
That's the helicopters, yeah. Rescue terrain. Oh
Osprey.
my god, I remember them. Yeah, that's the twin. They didn't even look how the hell do you think they would fly? You know, they look weird.
That's the F-117 Nighthawk.
Wow. Awesome, then. Yep.
Fantastic. I loved it.
Not the old.
I could sit here and look at them for an hour.
Sidewinder missiles. Yeah, the old sidewinder missiles, eh? Sidewinders.
I remember when the first computer games came out, you had flying games that you could do, and you could fly these things, and you would have to choose whether you wanted a Sidewinder or whether you wanted a Hellcat missiles, and
or the gun, you know, just the shooting bullets. Oh my god. Holy shit. Them were the days.
Yep.
Imagine what you can get now with all the software with flight simulators now, man. You can literally fly anything, couldn't you? I mean, I wouldn't think about it.
Thank you for visiting the Presidential Gallery. This one hangar had nothing but presidential aircraft. Aircraft that the presidents flew in. Like this little one here, they would actually use that to fly the president down when he was just going away for the weekend. Just him and
Must
his
be
wife.
Nice, eh?
Yeah.
Just instead of jumping in a taxi, we'll just hop in the old private jet, eh? Tell you how.
We're going to go down to Camp David. We're going to fly to this airport, then we're going to take you by helicopter to Camp David.
Yeah, must be nice. How the other half live, eh? Bastards.
Yeah.
All at taxpayers' expense.
The F-4 Phantom was a dream plane. They had them at Yeo Volton Royal Navy Fleet Air Museum. Amazing aircraft.
Harrier jump jet.
Yeah.
I don't know why they took that out of commission, man. It was out of this world. Brilliant. Could just take off anywhere, that thing. Brilliant plane.
The maintenance on them are at a ridiculous price. You think the aircraft costs a lot of money? How about what it takes to keep them flyworthy and reliable?
Oh, God. Well, I wouldn't like to think. Wouldn't like to think. wouldn't like to think how much it could wait. Even your modern day commercial aircraft, the maintenance and stuff, the money it costs to keep them up to scratch is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yep.
Oh dear me.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, my wish as always, peace, love, and a hunky vape to end cigarette combustion. Hope you guys have a fantastic week ahead, a fantastic Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and we'll be back next Tuesday. And the time change will be here, so we'll be back to being at 5 p.m. your time.
At long last. Yes, boys and girls, as always, to you guys in chat, thank you so much for popping in. Again, sure wouldn't be the same without you guys. Again, thank you, Alex, for having me on yet again. I don't know how far we are on now, but we're cracking on. And I think we're just part of the furniture and fittings now. I think that's where we're getting. But as always, boys and girls, you all stay safe, vape safe. We'll see you all very soon. You all take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week again for a fresh round.
Tell me, baby, where are you going? Prairie wind goes on blowing. Tumbleweed shadow, I'm tied to you. Tell me